So it says we're live. I don't know if we're live.
Hey, it looks like I have Go to get us on the one and only Turfs Up Radio.
Nice.
Let me make sure. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I got the right settings in. We're going to find out real soon. It says connecting.
If we're live,
baby. We're live. Now we're live in the Facebooks. We're live in the YouTubes. We're live on Turfs Up Radio. We got the internet airwaves going too.
All right, man. So we're live.
That's legit. That's official.
All right, cool. Hey, everybody. What's going on out there? We got the best damn bookkeeper guy in the house, Dan Platta.
What's up?
We got Shawn in the house, higher league chill guy. I think I'm in the house. Uh-oh. Darlin's in the house already.
Yeah,
Is she in the right place?
She found us.
Sweet. I don't know where I'm at on here to look for comments or anything, but you might want to keep an eye on the comments as we're going along. I'm
gonna see. I'm gonna do some things. I'll keep an eye on the comments. I think if people comment on my personal feed, Darlene, go to my personal feed and drop a comment. I want to see if it shows up in StreamYard so we can put it on the screen. It's different. Usually I'm the one that's live and then people are sharing my feed. And so I have to navigate where the posts go. But I think if I'm sharing your feed, then when they comment on mine, it makes it into StreamYard. I don't know why.
And I don't do like a lot of events in Facebook and set it up that way. So it's kind of goofy. So it'll be all right. Cause a couple people might drag on here and come on and grab a beer or something like that, or a glass of wine and get laid back a little bit and relax.
You want to know something real awesome? You just said beer and wine. I got some red wine in here because I was having kind of like a pasta spaghetti-ish dish. So I put my red wine in a beer mug. I love some red wine with like venison.
Yeah.
Cook a lot of venison in the Platta household. And spaghetti in like a red sauce, a little red wine, match the sauce with the wine. But then I got 3 Busch Lights, riding shotgun over here. So I'm ready to go.
Wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker. That's what I used to wear a T-shirt that said that, I think.
Sounds like something you would have said in college.
I probably would have. Anyway, so let's dig in at least a little bit. I think some people are hopping on. I don't know.
I'm hopping on.
I want to go through a couple different things and kind of tell our story, man, about Higher League Chill, how we got together. And I want to lay the groundwork of something that'll hopefully open up to people that know us, people that don't know us, and people that are pretty tight with us that don't know the story though of how we got together. And I think people that have watched us and have seen you're online a lot more than I am as far as lives and your shows and that sort of thing. And, most people I think that know Dan Platta, the word loyalty and fun and, just making bookkeeping not suck, all that good stuff. I think people know us, at least a little bit, but I want to go deep in a little bit more about some things that are important, like loyalty and some things like that, how we got together, what we've done together, and where we're at with some stuff. So I know we're probably up close to 10 years and doing things together. And I had a residential cleaning company for, 18 years or whatever it was. And I think that's kind of where it started. I sold it in 2015 and you were with a group of dudes and said, hey, man, I think we'll buy this thing. And tell us a little bit more about that, I guess.
I remember, I was behind the scenes. I wasn't like full-time in the business. I was still doing my corporate job, but I was, and this is like full circle, before I ran a bunch of maid services and ran a bunch of window cleaning and pressure washing things, I helped some former business partners do bookkeeping and do budgeting and do mergers and acquisitions. And there's this one merger and acquisition with this fellow over in Cleveland who had a maid service business. And we were like, man, we should totally buy this business, but also we should totally keep this guy. And usually when you buy businesses, you exit the previous owner. And I remember talking to Dalkey at the time and I was like, I don't know how what this conversation looks like, but we want this guy's business and we want him. And that's a weird conversation to have to somebody who's selling their business and is like, I'm exiting, have my thing. And to be like, yeah, well, we want to do that, but also we like you a lot and we think we can do a lot of fun stuff together. So do you want to sell your business to us and then help us, pursue this vision of, at the time we like, this is we proved this wrong for ourselves in time. But at the time, our goal was 50 locations,
Right.
doing maid services, window cleaning, pressure washing, like potentially adding more home services. That was our pipe dream. As we scaled it, we realized that was a little bit more difficult than we thought it was. And like part of what we're going to talk about is like the origin of this thing. And I was thinking back, like, you know, there's 2015, you started, 2016, I came on board full time. But actually, even before that, 2014, Dalkey and I talked about creating an administrative service company.
Really?
If you go Secretary of State, Blue Sky Services, the OG,
Yeah.
Blue Sky Services was formed in 2014.
Okay.
Like the vision of Blue Sky Services existed. It morphed, and when we started helping external clients, it took off into Hire Lead Chill, Best Damn Bookkeeping. But at its outset, it was designed to, I'll say the one thing that's different, I guess there's two things that are different from where we're at now, where you do recruiting and I do bookkeeping stuff, and we try to help a bunch of small business owners. At the time, we were focused on helping all of our small business owners, if you will, the Terrys of the world. I think the time was probably Ashley. We had, what was it, Lauren out in Portland.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Emily that went down to Tampa. I think it was Emily to Tampa. Derek in Cincinnati. So many like CBFers that are tuning in. No Coach Derek. He was a business partner in this thing. Derek was the one that introduced us to you because we had already bought Derek's maid service.
I got to tell you a quick story about that I don't know that you know. I actually reached out before I ever heard of you or Blue Skies or Dalkey. I reached out to Derek and through LinkedIn for some reason because I couldn't find his stuff, and I knew Derek. And with that, I said, "Hey, Derek, it's Shawn up in Cleveland. I'm thinking about exiting my business. You know, if you want to merge or you want to buy some things or do some things together, let me know." He was in Cincinnati. He's in Ohio. I figured, what the hell? He never heard from him, so I called a business broker up, and I went through all this stuff with the business broker. And it was about on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving in 2015. And I met with this business broker on a number of occasions. He gave me a number. He thought he could dish it off to people. And I'm like, that number sounds pretty good. I'll do that. And so, and I had a conversation with my wife all through this going, it'll probably take a couple of years to sell this thing anyway and get it right to go and, you know, get receipts out of shoe boxes and actually have somebody do bookkeeping and things like that. And so,
you knew how bad your QuickBooks was. You knew how bad your QuickBooks was. Dalkey gave that to me, and I don't know that my head has ever spun off so much when I saw somebody's QuickBooks. You're not. Best Damn Bookkeeping's never going to employ Shawn Day. It's impossible.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I shouldn't say that. At least never to do bookkeeping. I know that much is true.
Yeah,
you would enjoy it anyway. You avoid that stuff like the plague, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's horrible. So it was Saturday. I was going to sign papers with this business broker, and Derek calls me on Wednesday out of the blue, like a month and a half after I messaged him. And he's like, "Hey, what? You still? I'm like, slow down, dude, slow down. What do you do? I just sold my business to this company called Blue Sky Services. I'll drive up there tomorrow and meet with you." This is like the Friday before Thanksgiving. He's coming up. And I go, "Dude, it's a done deal. I'm actually signing with a business broker." And he goes, "I've got you. You don't want to do that." So he drove up and we talked. I had called Dalkey, I think, or he called me, and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I said, "I'll put this guy on hold. I can, put him on ice a little bit, talk to you."
He's a broker. He'll take you whenever you can get you.
Right. So Dalkey flew, like it was either right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, flew from Minneapolis to meet with me. We sat in my office for 6 hours without getting up, without moving. We sat in chairs. We talked about business for about an hour and a half, talked about people and some cool, things about this and that and the other. And I felt comfortable. He felt comfortable, and it happened. And I will say this to you publicly: I got a lot better offer from Blue Sky Services than I did what that business broker thought he was going to sell it for. And there's a lot of things that go into that, but it was just all worked out. It all happened. And so fast forward a year after that, when I first met you was on a Zoom, and man, you were giving me some shit, dude. You were like, coming from corporate or some shit coming into this, and I'm just this dude from fucking Cleveland. And I apologize for swearing all, but it's going to happen tonight. I can tell you, dude. You remember the conversation that Dolke was like pitting us up a little bit, and I was going, you were like, I think we should just offer all these services, and I'm like, I think we need to just kind of, offer recurring services. And we went back and forth, and Dolke's like, Dan, it's your turn. And then you'd say something, Shawn, it's your turn. I mean, he was literally doing that.
Over in this corner in the blue trunks.
Yeah. And so I learned a lot from you there, and that was sort of our first contact. But what really said to me, this dude's a good dude, is like, you called me the next day after, because there were like the other owners and shit, I think investors were on that call. I mean, it was a pretty intense call for me anyway. And so you called me the next day and told me how much you respected me. And that was really cool what we went through. And, you really look at me a little bit different, quite a bit different than you did. And I said the same thing to you, man. And we were off to the frickin' races, man. Like unbridled, having tons of fun after that.
No looking back, dude.
No looking back.
I think I'll say that was one of the things I really learned from Dalkey, and he was never afraid of like tension and challenging and like laying it on the table and having like beating up a business model and disagreeing and like vehemently disagreeing and like making the proof has to happen. Like, we got to figure this out. We got to do this thing. I yelled at one of my clients this morning. Like, I really didn't like what she was doing. And I was like, I'm here to help, but at some point, like, we gotta like push comes to shove. Maybe I'm just aggressive. Maybe I got to tone it back, man. Maybe I'm just too aggressive. But like you said, we like got where we were at, and we got there fast, and we had to get there fast because we were moving so fast. We were buying businesses at lightning speed.
Crazy.
Like, it wasn't a year from when you sold to Blue Sky Services that I came in to like run the business with you guys. And we had already bought Kathy Gage in St. Louis, a $1.3 million business or whatever it was at that time. Like, we were scooping up businesses faster than we could raise capital to scoop up businesses. It was like pure chaos, just like dead sprint. Had to figure it out. Dead
sprint, man. I remember a couple things with that is I went from, you're going to be in charge and put the business model together for this maid service stuff, because we're window cleaners and investors. And there's like 40 people, and it went from 40 to like 100 in less than a year, number one. Remotely managing these people, number two. And as I'm starting to put the business model together, I get a call from Dalkey that goes, geez, we bought a business that owes has $150,000 in ARs. And I'm like, what? Yeah, a maid service with an average ticket of like $100 a cleaning, what was it? Literally the $150,000 AR. And it's like, I went from, you're going to put this business model together, manage 40 people, to 100, put everything on hold. And it's like, start going out and breaking numbers. I was pounding the phone, making up excuses why you owe us money. I had no idea. I didn't know who the company really was and shit. I didn't know any of the clients. And I'm going, hi, I'm Shawn Day. I know you don't know me, but we need your money, and you owe us money.
You owe us some money.
Oh, dude. Oh, it was crazy.
That was a mission. That was a cash flow mission.
Crazy. Like, and then I remember one time, hey, I think we're going to buy this business for like 10 grand because this dude from corporate like started it. It's, he's got it off the ground, and he wants
down in Brandon, Florida. In Brandon, Florida. Had to get down by Tampa and get a warm weather business.
Yeah, exactly.
I do remember that. It's like, hey, Shawn, this weekend you got a down and backer. Yep. You got a down and backer and go meet the couple gals that are down there, and we'll figure it out.
Exactly. Two of which spoke Spanish, and the other two spoke English, and I was like had an interpreter. And dude, it was a long day. I got up at like 3:30 in the morning or something crazy to catch a 6 a.m.er, and then freaking got home at like 2 o'clock in the morning or something crazy. It was nuts. But I mean, that's just the way it was. And when you go through those types of things, there's not a lot of time to bitch and moan and complain. It's just like, what are we plowing through next, man? What are we doing next? And things are dripping through holes, and we're just plugging holes and going after it. And it really got interesting when you went and started from the ground up, because we were just buying businesses, man. And then you started a maid service in freaking Minneapolis area, in Minnesota, and from the ground up, dude, and you were like gung ho, and you had a bunch of clients you're setting up, and then it was go time, and then all kinds of shit was getting crazy at that point, man.
I look back, so I tried to black this all out actually. I know it's coming back, so I don't think I can avoid it. I was talking to a contractor that was in my house the other day, and we were like talking about like a bathroom remodel, and somehow we got talking about work experiences, and we redid the house we live in now.
Yeah.
We owned this house for a year and never lived in it. We lived at my in-laws. When I left the corporate world and started running businesses. Not only like came in to be CEO of how many businesses we had while we were adding some, but also, with however many employees we had. Oh, also let's start up a brand new business. And Dan, you're also the lead tech, like, and at this point we sucked at hiring people. Like that was a problem you and I had to solve, which is why the hell we're here today, is because we had to solve it, and we had to keep solving it because our leadership model at the time was terrible too. Like we couldn't figure out how to run all these businesses together. Yeah. But digression, it was like, I literally told somebody this today. I am not lying. Like first call of the morning, probably the gal that I yelled at. Sorry. I'll keep your name out of here. I didn't yell at her. I just got a little spicy. Just got a little heated, a little spiced up, trying to get her going on the right path. But I remember, we had businesses in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Minneapolis. We had Portland at the time, but I don't think we had Tampa yet. St. Louis, if I didn't say that one, obviously Minneapolis. I think I said that one. And I remember like getting up in the morning and sneaking down into my in-laws' basements to pop open my computer at 5 a.m. to look at the skips and reschedules. Yeah. It's like, that's a thing you have to do in maid service. Somebody's got to get in early and look at skips and reschedules. And I had to do it for the East Coast too. And that was the least favorite thing I've ever done in my life. And it's one of the challenges of maid service is like, you're not hearing like all that's going to happen in the morning. Like maybe 1 out of 10 emails that you get into or voicemails that you get into is a positive, but you're waking up to get punched in the face. Yeah. Which employees are calling in, which clients need to change, which clients are pissed, who had a bad cleaning yesterday. Every once in a while you get some good feedback, but 9 out of 10 mornings were like you were getting kicked in the nuts. Yep. And I was like, man, this is a rough way to start a day. Oh, and then I got to go to the office, clean all day, be on calls. Like I still have, at one point we had 100 employees. Like still got 100 employees to that ultimate, like you managed a bunch. We had like little pockets with window cleaning and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like I have to be in a position to make the ultimate decision for the business. Oh, and I also have to go clean houses all day. And then when I get home, I'm going to scarf down some dinner and run to our house that we're doing the tear down and like reconstruction on to some extent. We had a contractor as well, but we were doing a lot of the work ourselves. Man, I look back and I was like, that was some tough shit. Yeah, it was, man. At the time I just did what we all do, right? And we all do it. We just put our freaking heads down and we just go. And we're like, I'm tough. I can do it. Nobody can tell me I can't. I'm going to prove it. I'm going. And then when we're done, we're like, I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? There had to be a better way. Like we all have done that. And it's part of being a small business owner. But that was it for me. I look back at that and I'm like, I'm super glad I did it. And I talk about this about Blue Skies and the partnerships and everything, like, and running all of our businesses around the country. My vibe is always this. I'm so thankful that I did that. I'm so thankful for Dalkey and Brian and Corey Weber. And like, we had such cool opportunities to learn so many things, and I'm never going to do that again. Right? Like that is small business. Like you just learn really, really hard lessons, but you just gotta be so thankful for them.
That's one of those things
where you are.
Nobody really did that at that time either. There wasn't a business model other than a franchise business model that was kind of similar to what we were trying to do. Nobody had really said or tried to do. People had more than one location, but typically locally. But nobody was going to go, we're buying 50 businesses. Eventually, we're going to have 50 out there. We're going to have a centralized office, and that's how we're going to operate. And it's not going to be just maid services, and it's not going to be just window cleaning. We're going to have this whole family of home service businesses to grow and stuff. I mean, you would think you would need some more processes and systems in place, which we had a little bit of stuff, but nothing that enormous. Nothing that enormous, man.
No, and I remember talking with Delkey about it. Is like, because he and I would go to every Tuesday night. We go to Caribou Coffee. It's like Starbucks in the Midwest. Our wives knew we were going to be gone for like 3 hours. The budget spreadsheet that we still use today that says 2013, that's the first year on it. Like that was built in that Caribou Coffee, and we're still using it. It's 2026. Yep. Like we've been working on this business model forever. And that conversation came, and we were like, what does this look? And Delkey is resilient about like his homework on industries. He's like, yep. I don't even know who to talk to. Like, I don't know who's done this before. I don't know if it's ever been done before. Maybe there's a reason why it's never been done before, but like everybody else is a franchise. Nobody's like owned and operated. Now, since then, I've seen a lot of people, especially in pressure washing, do like different licensing agreements.
Right.
And I really like what Debbie does with CBF, where it's like, it's not quite a franchise, but you can impact so many people. There's different ways to go about it that we hadn't really thought about. And we did the thing that we do. We put our heads down. We're like, we're going to smash through every wall that this business model puts in front of us. But let me say this. Let me get us to like how recruiting got started. Because I said Blue Sky Services, I don't remember what the month is that we started it, but I've had to put it on enough legal documents. We started our shared service model in 2014, where we had administrative services and we did them for other companies. We did them for our companies. And it was at the time we did a lot of phone answering, and we did marketing and recruiting and bookkeeping. Like those were the central services. We eventually, if you remember, like we put the offices and the phones back in the locations.
Right.
I remember like just what the vibe we got is like the people in Portland didn't want to talk to somebody in Cleveland. This was 10 years ago, but how much the world has changed.
Yeah.
Right. Like when somebody answers the phone, you kind of don't expect them to be where you are anymore. Right. But we found that mattered. They wanted to like connect and be able to talk about the weather and the freaking road names or whatever was going on. But the recruiting and the bookkeeping and the marketing, we realized we can do that from anywhere. And so like when I first started like full time, when I left the corporate world, like Blue Sky Services existed and was already a functioning business in and of itself. Now I do remember looking at the P&L because we didn't know how to charge. We didn't know how to price, and we lost money. Like Blue Sky Services itself lost money for 3 or 4 years. And it wasn't until 2017 that we really, I remember going, I think it was late 2017, we started recruiting for Gabe in Nashville.
Yep.
You did recruiting before I did bookkeeping for other people.
Right.
Eventually I did bookkeeping for Ryan Edrington, and one person turned into 3 people, turned into 10, turned into 300. But recruiting was first. And we started doing it in Nashville. I forget who else did we do it for early on. We maybe did it for Ryan
Josh
too.
Taylor and a couple others.
We did Josh Taylor, Ecotech. And we got up, I mean, like really quickly, we got up to 10,000. Nick Thurston out in California, we helped out.
Yeah.
And we got up to like a few grand in revenue. We didn't really know how to charge it. I remember talking on the phone with people and being like, they're like, how does this thing work? And I was like, we don't really know yet. And it felt very similar to when we were trying to put together the business model for how do we grow to 50 locations and run these things in multiple different services. We were trying to figure it out. Like we thought we could do it, but we weren't sure how. And I felt like when we started doing these external services, like especially with recruiting, we couldn't find anybody else. I don't know that we were the first ones to do it. Like there had to be somebody else out there doing it. We couldn't find them. We had no idea how to charge for it. We had no idea what the model looked like. What we eventually kind of built was similar to what pay-per-click marketing looks like. Yeah. Like unintentionally.
Right.
I don't think we even drew the parallels until like, I don't know, 2020.
You know what happened? I think what happened, if I remember right, was that we basically had a conversation. And I said, you know what? Why don't we just? The only thing I could think of was temp agency type of things instead, and we didn't want that because they were not a good fit for the residential cleaning or any cleaning industry. It just wasn't. You know,
we tried them in multiple different locations of ours, and we just could never, whether it was window cleaning or pressure washing or maid service, we could never really get them.
Exactly. So what I thought was, why don't we just add these guys onto what we already do? we own all these different companies in 11 locations, I think, at that time, or 11 businesses in maybe 5 different states at that time. Why don't we just add them onto what we're already doing? And that kind of started the ball rolling a little bit towards that sort of like business model that we have today, really, which is we just put this thing together for us in our businesses. And then it sort of organically, and I think it was like an IWCA or something, we're talking to somebody over a beer. How you guys doing it? Well, we just kind of put this system together a little bit. It's working actually a lot better than what it had in the past. We didn't know how to keep employees at that time, really, but we knew how to get them.
They like the classic saying of like necessity is the mother of invention. And I want to be really clear with everybody out there, especially like I coach people on landscape lighting. If you all know me, you know I never have installed a landscape light in my life, but I watch businesses all the time. I obsess about businesses. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if you're picking up dog poop. I can tell you how to run your business. Like, I just stare at the finances all day. I know what the decisions are. And at that time, we didn't know how to lead people in different locations. Right. We didn't have a model for it. Again, we just kept like running through brick walls. And now you and I see this so clearly, watching everybody else's business. It's so clear when people are struggling to retain people, it's always a leadership thing.
Yes.
And like, always. Looking back, I can be like very self-reflective and be like, holy cow, I was such a shitty leader. I think I was always fun. I was always Dan. I was always bubbly. I can say stuff loud and be that guy. But like, to actually understand what they want. And like Debbie always says, you have to make a job that they actually want.
Right.
And to actually understand what that meant. And it didn't mean trying to lead a location in St. Louis from Minneapolis and from Cleveland. It didn't mean that, because that's a pretty hard dude to follow.
Dude, real quick too, on that note, you guys came from the window cleaning industry more or less. So you had culture and core values for like dudes that are carrying ladders around. Now we've got mostly females, and we're going in there. You're plow horses. You're not show horses. You're plow horses. And it was really. And I remember when we bought St. Louis, and Donkey and I flew out there, and he's like, Shawn, you got to come with me. So Dan can't make it. Somebody's got to come with me. I go out there with him, and it was a totally different culture than what we envisioned doing with whatever we knew at that time. And I look at Donkey, man, we went out and had a steak and a drink at lunch, and we were going to go back. And I go, dude, the hardest part about what we're about to do is culture. I'm telling you that right now, man. And it really, in leadership and culture, we learned that really quick at that point and at that time. And it's leadership and culture and core values. I don't care what anybody says, especially in the home service space, man. We can bring them in the door, man. We were bringing tons of interviews, tons of people in the door, but we just could not keep people because we didn't know.
I was going to say, like, we had to. We didn't have a choice because we couldn't retain them. And then we realized like we didn't have the right local leadership, but we also couldn't really afford the right local leadership. And you and I couldn't always afford to be there. So we like just kept spinning our wheels on this. Our turnover was crazy. We would keep a core.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that we all learn, which is how to identify a high producer versus a good manager. They're not the same thing. And we always, for a while, we would promote high producers or like big talkers. And it just like always ate us up. I think there was never more obvious than that than when we finally promoted Terry to run St. Louis. And it was like, oh, she was never our highest producing employee.
Right.
She was never the loudest. She was never the in front of the crowd. She was the most stable, no nonsense. She was really genuine. She always told it like it was, and she just didn't put up with shit. Yep. And like the drama just like it just went out the door. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, like now we're stable again.
Yep.
Man, for so long it was just like, we talk about St. Louis a lot because it was such a big location, but it was like we just couldn't figure out how to lead a location like that and who to put in charge when we couldn't be there, and we could only be there like quarterly. We both got kids doing sports and whatever else. And I just remember being like, thank God Shawn figured out how to recruit people digitally from a distance like crazy, because we have to keep the pipeline full.
Yeah.
Like we have to. We don't have a choice because we're constantly having to to replace people, whether it's turnover or we're firing them because we didn't hire the right person. It was just such a necessity.
So there's a couple things too, because I want to talk about loyalty, and I want to talk about trust, and I want to talk about when stuff gets shitty. And you've heard me say this a lot through the years. Stuff has to get shitty for you to be able to build character. And when shitty times arise, it's easy for us when things are going well to have beers and have fun and hugs and high fives. But man, when things start to go shitty, we've been through quite a bit together, and you've been really there with me on some personal things I've gone through. We went through COVID together, not knowing what's going on. We went through your exit and blue skies on stuff that we were not sure what's going on. And I know just
Indeed tried to put us out of business.
Yeah, and I'll get into that in a second. So all these things are happening, and I'm going to talk a lot about loyalty before we wrap this freaking thing up. I guarantee you that. But I'm telling you now, when you've got mentors, and you've got coaches, and you've got partners, loyalty is everything. I mean, you and I both know, and we probably have said this publicly, that we're probably going to work together for as long as God allows us to work together in one way, shape, or form. All right.
I don't see any way around it.
Right. Right. I mean, but I remember telling you, when you came to me, you're like, yeah, this bookkeeping thing, man, I think I'm parting ways, and I'm going, oh, all right, man, how can I help you? What's going on? And we'd be talking and shit like that. And then it kind of hit me a little bit. I was like, hasn't said much about recruiting yet. I wonder what the hell's going on with recruiting. And I asked, and I go, whatever's going on with it, dude, I'm going wherever you're going if you want me. And I don't give a shit what the rest of those dudes are doing. Not to say anything bad about him. Dalkey's always been good to me, and he always did pretty much what he said he was going to do if he could. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that is one thing. Like, you might not always like what he says.
Yeah,
but he's gonna do what he says. He's like,
right.
he's just matter of fact.
But he was never really in the trenches with me. Doing the stuff, the hard stuff that we did every single day. And, when you go through COVID, we were together at Debbie Sardone's event. The first time I ever heard the word COVID, man. And,
yeah, what do you mean they're not playing the Masters this year?
No,
what?
Right.
I remember sitting there like, what? They're shutting down March Madness. They're not doing, like, we were in Dallas, like, oh shit, dude, we might not get home.
Josh Latimer was there, I think. So all that is, where our relationship tightens up, man, and just, let's take a bullet for you, and I have no problem with that. I want to kind of go to where we first started to really grow, which was Latimer and Debbie Sardone. Mm-hmm. Before we knew what the hell we
had no idea. We had no idea what we were doing.
No idea. We got a couple $1,000 of revenue, right? Like you said, we got a couple $1,000 in the bank. It was going a little bit. Well, hell, we might as well explode this thing now that we don't know what we're doing and some people are paying us.
Well, and this is, I love and hate this about Josh all at the same time, is he can sell anything to anybody.
Oh yeah.
With so much conviction. He sold us like him and Dalkey were tight. And I think we all get along with Josh, and Josh is just such a good dude, like such a good family guy, such a proponent of entrepreneurs. Like, he's always finding ways to help other small business owners. And immediately he was like, I love what you guys are doing. I want to help you. I'm gonna have you on the podcast, and then we're going to do a webinar. And this is when like webinars were the thing, right?
Oh yeah.
And we didn't know what we were doing. And Josh was like, I know how to sell your thing, and like, be ready, because we're going to like bury you in work. And he's like, we're going to make this offer and you guys are going to fill up. And he was not lying, and we were not ready for it. And his offer was a little too generous, which is totally Josh. Like, I don't think Josh would mind me saying this. Like, he will give away everything to help people. He will do all the offers in the world to help more people. He always has. He did that at Send Jim. He would give away everything. And I remember when like Dalkey and a bunch of people partnered with him, like, Josh, you got to stop giving stuff away. We can't afford for you to like give away everything we do on stage and say like, this will be $1 for everybody that's here. He's like, Oprah, like, we can't afford that. But he will, like, he cares so much about helping everybody, and he gets so excited about it And so he sold us on like, let's make this offer. And then we're like, yeah. And it worked. We sold a bunch of stuff.
I want to say it was like 60 people signed up or something. We had like 60 customers in an hour. And I'm like, what?
Good luck, Shawn. You'll be great.
Go get them. So we were doing it and we were going after it. And I'm like, I'm going to give Debbie Sardone a call and see if she's interested in helping us figure this thing out. And so Debbie did. I mean, she's like, I love what you're doing. It sounds great. This is the biggest headache every business has. Let's do a webinar. And then we got another like 50 people or something like that going through a webinar with Debbie.
It kind of made me sad at the time. I spent years trying to get a maid service business off the ground, and eventually we sold it because I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like I failed. I mean, I didn't fail. I could have kept going, right? Yeah. But I hit purgatory number 1. And we had 100 other employees across the country that I was also trying to do stuff with. And so we ended up saying, oh, well, and Cowboy Mark came in. Mark Reiser.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I love Mark. Thank God for Mark. He he saved me.
Yes.
He came in and bought my maid service business that I was so struggling to run because it wasn't ready to run without me. And we tried 3 different managers. We could never figure it out. Thank God Mark saved the day and bought our business from us.
He is the cowboy, man.
He is a cowboy. I still stay in touch with that guy. He's awesome.
Good,
He's wild, crazy. Talk about having some words with the guy. We've had plenty of words, and every time we have words with him, then like he's like, all right, sounds good, Mark. Oh, Crosby just stuck his head in the door and yelled, "Hi,
hey,
what's up, boy? Hey, hi, go to bed." You're 3. I can't understand half the stuff you say. Go to bed. Crosby, come here. Crosby, come here. Come here quick. Come here and give me a hug and then go to bed. Come here. Everybody wants to see your haircut.
Oh, nice. Crosby's got a haircut.
You didn't see. Look at that.
Nice. That'll work.
Yeah, high and tight. Crosby, come here and show him how we cut our hair the same.
I didn't really.
He wanted to cut his hair. And so we were like, we were just buzzing it. And I was like, summer's right around the corner. Let's do this thing. Days are getting longer. Let's get faster.
There you go.
Teresa's in my chat. She says, hi. Hi, Crowd. Teresa says, hi. Can you please either come or go? You just can't stay there. You're in purgatory now.
You're in purgatory.
He's in purgatory. He's like halfway in the door, just yelling at me. But no, I just remember like it took me years to try to get a maid service business off the ground. It took you like a month to get recruiting bigger than I had ever built a maid service business. And I was like, holy smokes. Like you've got something. Although let me say that this is like a funny origin story. I remember I was in Nashville at a BBB event, like maybe like the first one. And John Maynard was there with me, Jonathan Maynard, shout out. And we're talking about recruiting stuff and we're just getting this thing launched. And we have so many supporters because nobody's doing this thing. Everybody's like, oh my God, nobody's doing this. Of course this. And then somebody blasted us on Facebook.
Yeah.
She was totally right, by the way.
Yep.
She was 100% right. We were mad. We're like, oh man, she's blasting us. Her feedback was, you assholes got me 300 applicants. What am I supposed to do? How do I go through 300? Because at the time we were just like, we know how to get applicants.
No screening, no nothing. Yeah.
Get you a shitload of applicants. You're struggling to get applicants. We know how to get applicants. We're going to get you a ton. We got her a ton of applicants. And she's like, what am I going to do with all these applicants? And we were like, we did exactly what you asked for, lady. Like, why are you blasting us on social media? In hindsight, thank God for her feedback.
Yeah.
Like, Maynard reached out to her and gave her a hard time for like busting our balls. I mean, like, hey, we're figuring stuff out. We figured it out, but she was totally right. Like, what are you going to do with 300 applications? That's miserable.
On a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Good luck. Knock yourself out. You got this.
Let's bring it fast forward that a little bit. So we get Josh Latimer helps us out. Debbie Sardone helps us out. We're kind of getting some things going, and we're starting to straighten some things out. We lost a little bit, came back a little bit, and we really were getting some things really. I mean, we were up I think close to $500,000 or more in revenue and things like that. Maybe somewhere in there.
Like really quick. I mean,
really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit. It came back.
And then all hell broke loose big time.
And I think it's because we broke the model.
Yeah.
Like Indeed, and I think we've Indeed doesn't give a shit about us. Let's be real. But we gave a shit about them because they blocked our business model, right?
Yeah.
They were like, no, you can't use our platform like this. And we were like, yeah, but your employee told us to use it like this.
Right.
Like they were the ones that told us to use it the way we use it. You can do it way more justice than I can. But it's like, I can't imagine. Maybe I'm spoiled in bookkeeping, which you've told me that I am multiple times. But like, I can't imagine. I can now with AI, but like, it's a weird world to think where like the vendor that you base your business off of, like all of our bookkeeping is in QuickBooks. If QuickBooks all of a sudden says like, nope, sorry,
Yep.
you can't use QuickBooks anymore. We are only going to sell to the business owner, not to accounting firms. You'd be like,
Yeah.
what? Like, how am I, if Indeed is only going to let businesses recruit and not a business that's supporting a bunch of other businesses recruit, now what?
Yep. And it was
Like,
harming our clients. So Indeed, so kind of to clarify a little bit for people that don't know, Indeed basically flagged some clients, shut anybody associated with us. They were like, who are you people and what are you doing? Like Dan said, they didn't see this business model before. And we were getting really good at doing the job ads. And they didn't like all that goodness because
no, they still did free. You didn't have
it was
to pay.
all
They
free.
gave a bunch of shit for free, and we figured out how to get the most for free.
That's right.
They did not like that.
Not at all. Not at all. And so from that, all hell broke loose as far as clients going, what's going on? Now I'm not getting any. And we really didn't know because Indeed wouldn't tell us exactly what was going on.
Yeah, they just put a generic flag up.
Yeah, and then and then we finally were crawling up to LinkedIn, and we were doing all kinds of things to get shit figured out. And I remember doing a lot of stuff free at this time for clients because of what was going on. And I'll tell you guys listening right now, if you want to talk about loyalty and how we take care of customers and how Platta takes care of customers when the shittiest things can possibly happen. I remember, imagine if you're listening to this, imagine how stressful this is, knowing that QuickBooks might have gone away if you're a bookkeeping accountant or a bookkeeper. Your business, you're just dead in the water. That's what happened to us with Indeed. Okay. And you did two things that blew my mind, and I supported 100%, but you came up with it. Number one, because we had so many CBF clients from Debbie, including Debbie as a client, you flew to Texas from Minneapolis to personally go meet with her, to personally let her know we got her back. We're going to get this figured out, and her CBF members. And by the way, you correct the number on this because I can't remember, but we decided to take 10 or 15 grand out of the pockets of the business. And we started to boost job ads for our clients with our own money so that they would be less stressed out and hurting their business less. You flew down to talk to Debbie, and we spent our own money in the realm of, I want to say it was $10,000 or $15,000.
It was more than that.
It was more than that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, because that was what we thought it would be, but we didn't know when we were going to get back live, right?
Right.
And so it was like, now it was when you're in that spot, it's like, we're going to invest in this until it dies.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Or it's either we're either going to fucking get through this or it's going to die. And we did everything. I remember, like, you were finding every single thing that was an alternative to Indeed. I was reaching out. I was interacting with the C-suite of Indeed. And that, like, Kedma was my coach in Conquer at the time. Yeah. And I brought this to our Conquer group. And she's like, you got to take this shit to the top. It's unacceptable. Like, this can't be what they want. They're harming you, and therefore they're harming hundreds of small business owners. This can't be what they want. But like, you have to figure out how they want you to play the game, right? I think we were spending $100,000+ of ad spend on behalf of our clients through them. And like, ZipRecruiter exists, and Facebook exists, and Craigslist exists, and we found Google for Jobs, which kind of came and went. Snag a job. there's different places, right? But like Indeed is the Google of that world, right? Like consumers go to Google, job searchers go to Indeed. Indeed is like the number one thing that shows up on Google, right? If they go to search on Google, Google even tried to compete with Indeed and really couldn't, which is crazy to think. Like through Google, like Indeed has that market really cornered. And so when they locked us out, which the frustrating thing was, they locked us out for explicit instruction from their employee,
Right.
which I think if you follow the money, he had to have been getting compensated for all the boosting we were doing the way we were doing it. So I think he was selfishly saying, this is how you guys need to do it. I think we were filling his pockets up.
Yeah.
I think he was making money off of every dollar we boosted the way we did it, which was his direction. And then once we were flagged, we were using VPNs. We were trying any which way to hide from Indeed to be able to help small business owners. It felt crazy to me. And we were like confronting Indeed about it, but we couldn't get anywhere. Like we just couldn't get anywhere. And then they'd say like, nope, you're blocked.
Yep.
I don't, maybe I blacked this out too. Why did it stop? Like, when did it stop? Crosby.
Well, you know what?
Crosby, either get in here and say hi to people or stop yelling at me.
Hi, bud. So freaking funny.
I'm going to lock that door. I'm going to lock your door. No, I'm going to lock your door.
I know I am, but what are you?
Yeah, you are.
Or wait a minute. I know you are, but what am I?
All right, like here we go. Now
there's the haircut. Man, I like that haircut.
Oh, thanks for this. Were you giving me a whisker rub? Here, hit me.
Nice.
Oh, it's nice. You want to talk in the microphone? That's a good one. Can you say oogie boogie boogie? No, you can't. That's just too funny.
Watching
himself. Go to bed.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
What's going on?
Hold on.
You doing some ice fishing, dude?
Hold on. You can't hear you. Here.
Oh, you doing some ice fishing?
Can you hear Shawn? Are we going ice fishing this weekend?
Yeah.
Why are you drooling on me, boy? What?
Catch me a walleye.
Do you like walleyes?
Yeah.
What's your favorite fish?
Poop.
Oh, you're totally a 3-year-old. Get out of here, you weirdo.
3-year-old little boy. Love it. Love it. I miss that age, man. That's so fun.
Oh. Did you just see him boop me? Did you see that? Thanks, bud. Okay, give me one more boop and then get out of here. Boop. Okay, go. Go find mom. Go find mom. Go find mom.
Unreal.
Go find mom. Here, you keep talking. I'm going to deal with my roommates real quick.
Yes, let's do it. So,
here, let's go.
Anyway, so the Indeed fiasco, I like that story, and I want to tell that story because I'm here tonight to tell our story. And I think people that are watching this, especially in CBF and the residential maid service, to know how dedicated we are to you guys and to the service and or to the group and to the tribe out there. My passion is residential cleaning. That's what my business was. I've gotten to know so many people in other industries in the window cleaning, pressure washing, and all that good stuff, man. What do you got going on in the background?
Just everything, man.
Just everything? Did you get a chance to grab a bush light or no?
They're handy. They're handy. It's hard when you get assaulted like that. You know, you just don't know. It's hard to recover. All right, I'm back.
So we did the Indeed thing. We talked about that. We got through it.
Remind me, like, how I don't remember when they finally let us get back in.
You know what happened was they made a new policy that if you are a recruiting company, you no longer can do free ads. And you can't do free ads for clients either. You had to pay. And so that literally happened right about the time where we were going through all that. And they changed everything.
But it leveled the playing field
a little bit.
And that was kind of what we needed was that was when other people started doing recruiting. Like, again, maybe somebody was doing it before us. I'm sure we didn't invent the recruiting service the way we do it. But I was thinking about this earlier. Like, is it still an original thought? Even if somebody was doing it first, but you didn't know they were doing it and you just started doing it too? Is it still original? I think
would
so.
say so.
I don't know.
So. I don't know. I don't know of anybody that was doing it before us. I just don't.
But I think when other people started doing it, like we saw some other entrants, we inspired a few, if you will say.
Yep.
And then it seemed like they were like, and Indeed realized, oh, this is another clientele group, and they're gonna bring. And we were trying to tell them this the whole time. Is like, hey, we're bringing people to you that aren't using you otherwise, right? They're using friends and they're posting on social media. Like, we're not just finding them better. We're not just helping them get it at a better price, and we're not just taking money out of your pockets by advocating for them. We're also bringing more people to you. And like QuickBooks had that model figured out a long time ago. They give me a deal because I'm an accounting firm, because I bring people to them. They don't try to cut me out. Again, who knows what they're going to do in the future. But
the other thing is too, part of what we do is help small businesses grow. So they're going to spend more money because they're going to need more people. And that's basically our business model, right? Is to help people grow with this recruiting stuff. And I think they finally, figured this is a good thing. And then as far as our business and our business model, as we started to get it dialed in, as we started to grow, we started to get competition. And that's fine, because what it did was we created an industry basically for the home service space for recruiting. We've not only did we kind of revolutionize recruiting and teach about how you can do and outsource recruiting, which was really unheard of in what we do now. The other thing that happened was we created an industry because we started to get competition that came in doing what we did. And that is a whole new ball game and a whole new aspect. And I know, what were your thoughts about that? Because you and I talked a lot about that and what that meant. And I think they had a lot of good for the industry.
Oh, a ton. First, before I get into my thoughts on that, I got my personal feed over here. This guy gives some shout outs, man. Barry Little checking in. He said, hey, everybody, it's okay. No need to get nervous. I'm finally here. He said that a while ago. Darlene's been active in the chat. Teresa McConnell crushing it as always. Holly Moore's in the house. The one and only Holly Moore. Not to be confused with Molly. You got to say Holly and Molly. You go back to back. Hashtag CleanCon. Drew, if you're still watching on YouTube, no dash. During the radio show, we had this conversation about trying to buy the URL. We found out Trevor from like the radio show owns clean-con.
Really?
.com. What are the chances of that? But then Michael and everybody else really quickly said, you don't want the dash. You don't want the dash in there. Right. So Drew was thinking he was going to get the website, and then he was like, never mind. I don't want your website, Trevor. Teresa's in the house. Molly's in the house. Holly's in the house. Amber Gardner checking in.
Nice.
Amber, I don't know if you saw, Amber's first thing she said when she checked in was Old McDonald, because every time I'm on a call with Amber, it's inevitable. Crosby shows up and he just starts singing Old McDonald. I don't know what it is. It's got to be an Amber thing. But like, and Amber, you just missed him. He was in here. If I would have known you was there, I'd have had that boy singing. We'd still be listening to him sing Old McDonald. Here back to the recruiting industry though. Again, I can't say that we invented it, right? It was pure necessity. Like, we had to get good at it. And then because we're entrepreneurs and we love helping small business owners, when other friends of ours needed help, we had to start helping them. And when Latimer said, hey, let's do this for my audience, we had to do it. And then Debbie said, hey, CBF needs this. We had to do it, right? Like, this is how we grow businesses. It's like, we have all these people we want to help. And then it like so quickly turned from mission, help as many people as possible. Like, we have a thing figured out to solve the problem that we all complained about. Like, the labor market was getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And we had this thing figured out. And then Indeed just kicked us in the nuts. And so like, we went into reptilian mode, like survival mode. We were draining our pockets to boost ads for clients to get them something. I don't remember what the number was. I remember it got over 25,000 of our money but like I'm a nerdy bookkeeper. I was watching the behind the scenes of like,
Right.
it's not, if you really think about it, and we did this, we've talked about this math. Andy Mashura chimed in on YouTube as well, and he was a huge part of this.
Yep.
25,000 is nothing to invest in your business. And when I say invest in your business, there's two groups of people when you invest in your business: your employees and your customers.
Yep.
And so 25,000 is nothing to do what you need to do to take care of your employees and your customers. Because we're talking about, I mean, if we're helping home service companies, there's millions of them. 25,000 is nothing to be able to provide them an awesome service. Now, we don't have millions of clients, but we sure as hell could. There's that many people that need help in recruiting. And I remember there during COVID in Andy's business at Kahuna in Minneapolis, which I used to be helping him. I still help him with it, but like used to be a partner in that business. We spent $32,000 just in recruiting during COVID.
Right.
Best money we ever spent. Our team ran circles around anybody else's team. And that was when like the lid came off for me with like what's possible with recruiting. People still think it's a lot to spend $500.
Right.
People still spend $100,000 on marketing and spend nothing on recruiting and are complaining that they can't find good help. It's hilarious.
Yep.
We spent $32,000. The year we spent $32,000 in marketing, because we had so many good employees, we ended up spending damn near $200,000 in marketing. Right? We spent $32,000 in recruiting,
right,
which enabled us to spend like damn near $200,000 in marketing. Because when you have really good employees, you're like, oh shit, we got to grow this business. We need to keep these guys busy. And so it's so intertwined. And I remember through that phase, it was kind of around COVID, we started seeing other recruiting companies. Now I'm going to finally answer your question. We started seeing other recruiting companies come. Some in CBF, some in like Conquer and Brandon Vaughn. And we talk like the minute somebody starts up and maybe started up kind of not the way that you would like your competitor to start up. And I think initially our gut reaction was we were a little pissed, right? Like as if we own the space, which is just
right.
But that's your like initial gut reaction is like the bastards. And then like that's your reaction when you find out. And then you're like, well, nobody really knows what the hell it is that we're doing. And when we say we do recruiting for people, they don't even know what that means.
Right.
And so like we can recruit until we're blue in the face, but we actually need good competitors to educate everybody that this is a thing you need.
Right.
And I'll say like Brandon probably blew it up more than anybody because that's the dude that he is. Like he's the best at taking an idea. And like, I don't think he would be offended by me saying this. Like this is his skill set. He can take somebody's idea and he will out execute the shit out of you on it. And I'm not saying he has. I think I really like our business model, but that dude's willing to spend millions of dollars without making a dollar to invest in a thing. Right. And HireBus is cool. Like, don't get me wrong. HireBus is cool. I think ours is wildly different and it does different things. And I'm a customer of ours. I'm not a customer of his, not to say that his is bad, but it's a software. It's an automation. Ours is a service. And I think there's a big distinction that we always want ours to be a service. We use software, right? But you got to grow the pie, right? If you're the only one doing your thing, it's freaking lonely. You still don't know what the hell to charge. Nobody knows what the hell to charge when you're the only one doing it. And you don't learn. You don't get better. You don't get pushed.
Makes us get better. Yeah.
And so like, I think part of what kicked our butts with Indeed was the timing of it sucked. Indeed came at us and opened the door for a bunch of other people and didn't penalize them. And so like, that was the ultimate kick in the nuts, was just the handcuff Indeed put on it, where we couldn't help people through that means, and other people could. And somehow like we became the bad guy in like Indeed's eyes. And yeah, there's just like I said, I know we spent more than 25,000 just boosting ads for people of like our own money. It could have been 50,000 by the time it was said and done. I stopped paying attention to it because it was more like survival mode. It was like, how long do we need to do this thing? Who do we need to like give a noogie to and give a swirly to at Indeed to get them to pay attention to us and help small business owners? Because like we're such a win-win culture. Why don't they want to win? Like, why don't they want us to bring them more money by helping a bunch of small business owners? Like, we couldn't wrap our minds around it. It's like, why are they trying to cut us out? Why are they trying to hurt us and hurt small business owners? It doesn't make any sense. Like, who do we need to talk to in this corporate bullshit that's doing corporate stuff and start helping small business owners? There's small business owners that need help. We are an avenue to help them. And that was the thing that really like just twisted me up was like, I don't understand how you guys sleep at night. I don't
Yeah.
know how you go to bed at night. Like, nice, we screwed over a bunch of small business owners. Yeah.
Crazy.
Like that drove me nuts. Maybe I'm not over it. I'm feeling pretty bitter right now about that. I'm better than I was. I didn't even say an F-bomb in there. In the past, I would have said a lot of F-bombs, I think, but I think
I think the story is important just because, and I want people to know it because, I mean, we went through hell and we spent every waking hour and every, I made so many phone calls. I made so many, you flew down to Texas and we just wanted people to know we're good guys. We're loyal to this industry. We're going to figure it out and we'll do whatever we can to do it. And we did, and we made it through it and we're surviving and doing well. And we're starting to grow, we started to grow and all that good stuff. But I want to address what does bother me though. And I'm not going to, and I don't accept other people telling mistruths, and I don't accept people telling my story, your story, and Higher Lead Chill's story when it's not the truth. Okay, so there's a couple things, and I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but when I assure you that I do know a couple of the things we did that were first, okay, that had not been done in the industry, and coined certain phrases that are now being blathered out.
Can I say my favorite one?
Yeah, go.
ABC. Always be recruiting.
Yep.
Always be recruiting.
Always be recruiting. ABCs.
ABCs, baby.
I mean, everybody's talking about group interviews now. That was not the case before we started doing that in the way that we do it.
And let me give a shout out because Andy was in the YouTube chat. Like Andy was the one that perfected it and said like, hey, when we're doing this, we get so many people. I think we got to interview them in a group. And we were like, like, and Andy kind of taught me how to do it. And like we built on kind of like his foundation of that. But Andy was the one that really figured out how to do that.
Right.
I turned it into a reverse interview. I did one yesterday. I have 3 names written down already: Brittany, Kim, and Katrina. They're all going to come work here someday.
Right.
At Best Damn Book. Someday, you guys, if you're a client of mine, they might be one of your account managers. Just studs. We had some
building the bench.
Yeah,
that's the other one. We coined the waiting list and build a bench. We really came up with that strategy of, one day we were looking and going, I don't want our clients just to be fully staffed, because it was always I coined that, never be short staffed again. That's what my passion was.
You're like, I'm having like flashbacks, like, oh, Dave,
big time, man. I don't want anybody to go through what we went through. I don't want anybody to experience that, man. And you're stuck with the shitty employees, but you can't fire them and all that stuff. Your A employees are pissed off. You can't sleep at night. And I always say, if you can be fully staffed all the time, we'll put divorce attorneys out of business. Okay. I mean, we save marriages when we get our clients fully staffed. You are a better wife. You're a better spouse. You're a better husband. You're a better parent. You're a better friend. You're certainly a better boss, right? When you're fully staffed. And if that could happen every single day. Building the bench, though, I don't want you just to be fully staffed. I want you to have a waiting list of people waiting to work for you. And that is definitely something we came up with.
Absolutely. Because I remember when we were working on it and I was out for a run, because this is where like ideas happen, either that or when you're taking a dump, but I was out for a run for this one. And you and I have been talking about this of like, how do we stay fully staffed? We have to solve this problem. Like we have to solve it for our own businesses. Like while we were recruiting for everybody else, we also still have all of our own businesses. And I went out for a run like I do my midday jog. And there is a marsh, like natural park, I'll say, behind. I mean, you've been to my house before. You went trick-or-treating with me and the kiddo. Behind the houses across the street, it goes down into a swale. And it's like a half mile or like a third mile loop to run. And you're just like running through the woods, up hills, over rocks and stuff, like small little area, but like it feels like you're out in the mountain type of running. And I did my jog down the streets and I was like, I just need to be like in the woods. Yeah. There's something about just being out in like wilderness, even when you're stuck in a suburban neighborhood, but like you're running in a natural park, not down. There ain't no like wood chips on these paths. You're just running in mud. And I remember I ran like 3 or 4 laps around that to get a mile in. And I think that was where the word hopper came from.
Yeah.
I remember running around that path and being like, I don't like, we can't just hire people and have a bench that we're paying for. We need to have them ready to go. We can't like, there's a sweet spot of we can't recruit and then hire people.
Right.
And you've gotten really good at like segregating this. Recruiting is not hiring. And this is a new thing you've been saying for maybe the last year. I think we like figured it out back then, but we didn't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize how big the hopper should be. Because I remember specifically, I was like, Shawn, we need 3 people that we have interviewed and approved, ready to go, but not yet hired. And we're like, would they wait for us? And then we're like, oh, we don't necessarily need them to wait, right? We're not asking them to stand by. We're just saying we're going to call you first. And like, they might not be available, right? They might have decided to go somewhere else, or they might have taken a different job, or whatever the case is. But that's why we have 3 of them. And we thought we had it figured out.
Right.
Now when I teach this, like we still do the same thing. Now we have 20.
Right.
I will never not have 20 people that are like, I'm ready to call, that will come work here. The beauty of it is I'm always going to call the person that's at the top of my list, not the 20th one down. The 20th one down probably never ends up working for me.
Right.
Because before I get to there, I'm going to do another round of recruiting, right? Just to make sure we're always hiring the best. And I've told this story enough times now, but I'm going to tell it again, which is we just had to hire some people. I reached out to 4 people. I interviewed them first a year and a half ago. A freaking year and a half ago, you guys. They applied for my job a year and a half ago. All 4 people got back to me because, you know what? I built a relationship with them, and I freaking actually, I use Shawn and Higher Lead Chill to stay in touch with them. And we keep touching base. The one gal took a different job in November. And this is part of when you build a bench, this is going to happen. And it's okay. Because it's like someday they will come work for you. You're not like going out of business next week. You're not desperate. Desperation actually is like, you never want to go work for a business owner that's desperate, and you never want to hire someone that's desperate. If a business owner needs to hire you right away because they're short-staffed, they're desperate. That's going to be a shitty job. If you hire somebody that needs a job right away and they need a paycheck and they're desperate, they need to start work next week, that's going to be a shitty employee. Desperation sucks. Yep. People don't take the best jobs in the world. They don't hire the best employees in the world when they're desperate. So like we recruit way in advance, obviously, because I recruited these people a year and a half ago. And I said, hey, we're going to need 2 people in January. Amanda took a different job in November that she wanted to see through, but she made it really clear that someday she's coming to work for me. And I agree. Someday she is. She's like, I'm going to stick with this one for a bit, but someday I'm working with you. And I'm like, hell yeah, you are. And we're going to stay in touch. The other 3 dudes that I reached out to, one of them came and decided like financially it wasn't the right fit. He left a really high paying job because he just wanted to be part of our team so bad. And after a week of like testing the waters, he's like, I just can't mathematically do it. And I was like, as a math guy, I appreciate that. Thanks for like deciding it after a week instead of a while. Right. The other guy is here and crushing it. And then one of the other 4 who I'd been in touch with for a year and a half started Monday. He's here now. Have
a couple that you hired, like that you literally interviewed like 4 years ago, even like deeper than a year and a half? Didn't you have 1 or 2 people like that? I mean, not that a year and a half isn't impressive, but
yeah. I mean, like Skip, who was with me at Blue Skies.
Yeah.
And then he literally, because we couldn't legally like under contract work.
Right.
I couldn't employ him. He became his own business and we had to like subcontract and he had to have his own customers. But like back to loyalty, right? It's like, you know, loyalty when you see it. There were other employees that I had there that were like loyal, but decided that the other people were worth doing business with. Cause I mean, it's scary. Right. And who knows what they were telling them. Right. I didn't tell them really anything. I was just like, I gotta like loyalty can be a fault big time.
Yep.
And at some point, like you can be, the loyalty is great, but if you're in an abusive relationship, you probably should knock it off. Right. Like that's bad loyalty, but it exists. And that was what I realized I just had run myself into, was like, oh crap, I'm just the abused one in an abusive relationship. And I got to like figure this thing out.
Yeah.
That's probably an extreme way to put it. But when I realized like how it played out and what was happening, it was like, oh, this is dumb. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And the part that I really screwed up is I built this thing here, and now all these 20 people that work for me under the bookkeeping and all these clients are just going to get hosed.
Right.
And I don't know, not get hosed. Sorry, this is a long digression, but like, I don't know that they're going to get taken care of. And especially if CBF people, there's like 3 or 4 people in CBF that just got freaking screwed.
Yeah.
And I was lawyered up and I couldn't touch anything and I couldn't talk to anybody, and it sucks. And I couldn't like now I'm kind of out of that.
Right.
I couldn't talk to him about it. And Debbie asked me to go live and say like kind of what happened. And I'm like, this is gonna be weird trying to tiptoe around this contract.
Right.
I'm sure these guys are gonna watch this video like ready to send lawyers at me because that was what was happening.
Yep.
Like I was getting lawyer letters all the time with threats. It was just like, geez, it's really hard to talk about this thing. Now I'm kind of past it, but
right.
But I mean, like back to the recruiting side of things, we have learned over and over and over and over again from that experience of like, oh, we need to be recruiting in advance. We can't just wait to recruit until we need to hire, because then we always get screwed scrambling and hiring people that are good enough. We need to recruit earlier so we have like a few people that we can call and be in front of it so we don't have to wait forever. And like if we start recruiting now to hire somebody, it might be 3-4 weeks before we get somebody started. But if we have 3 people we can call, we might be able to get somebody started in a week.
And that's happened. It's happened. Yeah. I've had people lose. I've had a pressure washing company that had 4 techs.
Dean Smith. We're talking the Dean story.
Yeah.
I love the Dean story.
And 2 of them ghosted him. And they were the 2 that were with him the longest before he hired us to help him out and recruit for him. And we were able to replace them in 72 hours because of the bench strategy. He was one of the first ones that implemented that strategy.
Actually did it. There's another person on the call, Teresa McConnell, that I know. She carries a bench.
Yes, she does.
I won't give any numbers away from Teresa because, like, respectfully, Teresa grows her business like crazy, you guys. And it's because she's really good at leadership, really good at recruiting. And I will say she was she didn't think she knew her numbers. Now she does. Now, like Teresa, when she was like really putting the gas pedal down, she would text me like once a week. Like, Dan, what's going on? What am I doing? Am I doing okay? Now, if Teresa is going to laugh, she's probably going to write a comment in here because she's watching. She texts me now and says, hey, Dan, did you see my P&L last month? Like I'm not lying. She texts me to brag because she's like, who would love to see this P&L besides me? Dan. And she texts me to tell me to go look at her P&L, which is like the coolest thing. She sent somebody our way and he asked me, what is it you bring to the business? Like about Best Damn Bookkeeping, like what's your role in the business? And I had to think about it for a second. I was like, cheerleader. It totally is, right? Because like if you're a Teresa and you listen to Shawn and you build a bench and you can like stabilize your employee flow, everything changes in running your business. Then the numbers get a lot easier because they're not doing this. You and I found this out from running maid service businesses forever. And I coached on this today to landscape lighting in my coaching call, which is when we look back at a decade of running home service companies together, every time we weren't growing, it was because of employee issues. It was never sales. It was never sales and marketing. Every time our growth slowed down, it was always employee related. If we had employees, we could grow like crazy. If we didn't, we sucked. Yep. It was night and day. It's like, oh, again, back to the $32,000 investment in Minneapolis. That was the best investment we ever made. We had a great team of super committed people. Nobody else could hire anybody. We got all the work. We had the dudes to do it.
This did like $200,000 in the month of June or something like that.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. From zero, right? Like in winter fitting, we go from zero to
that was one of our debates too, man. I mean, you and I had a debate through that too, though, because you thought I was crazy I go, dude, you've got to spend more than $500. And you're like the bookkeeper going, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm like, it's going to be figure 500 to 1,000 an employee minimum. And you're like, we need to hire like 40. What are you talking? It's like 40 grand. I'm like,
didn't we hire 45?
Yeah.
We hired 45, we figured.
Yeah. 45
kept 14.
46. Yep.
Kept 14. Yep. Which like people get so butthurt about no shows and like, oh, they didn't make it through training. Like, yeah, we know it's a numbers game.
That's
Go
the
hire
way it is.
45, right? Get as like we also since then we've still gotten better and better at recruiting. We got better at the interviewing to weed out no shows. And like you just keep moving the needle, right? You just keep moving the needle, keep moving the needle. The reverse group interviews we do now, I find so much success from like you guys. I don't know how I'd have to ask Nikki for data on it. I don't know how many applicants you guys have gotten for me in this round. We also know January and early February are the best time to recruit. I don't need people, but I'm recruiting like crazy. Like build the list when the list is cost. We spent like $200 and there's people complaining they can't get on my schedule for three months in an interview slot because it's so filled up. Spent $200 and I got 10 at a time, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like as far out as I no, it's probably not 2 months. I think it's like 40 days. So for basically like 5-6 weeks, like every interview slot was filled up, and I do 10 at a time. And it's like you got to go get it when the getting's good. Just like marketing, go get it when the getting's good. Now's the time.
There's another couple weeks in February that it's still going to be good recruiting, and then it's going to really tighten up in March and April, and that's just the way it is because more of your competitors are going to be coming into the marketplace and waking up and finally saying, "Yep, I think it's time we better start hiring some people because everybody's asleep because it's been negative 15 degrees everywhere and there's ice storms in Texas. Nobody's thinking about window cleaning and spring cleaning and all that sort of thing. But I'm telling you, that's going to change in the next couple of weeks, and more of your competition comes into Indeed and boosted sponsors to get your labor market. Less employees are going to be in that labor market. So now you're going to spend more money because it's an auction, right? More people that are in there boosting and sponsoring. It's just an auction. Who's the highest bidder? And you're going to get the more employees. The better application flow and the more people applying. And that's where we're at right now. It's go time. It was go time about 2 weeks ago. It's really go time right now. And so one last thing I definitely want to talk about is I want to straighten up some of the record with me and how I operate and some other things that I love. I love the residential home cleaning business, and we can get a little bit snarky sometimes. And there's a lot of things going on politically that we get snarky about. And I really hate.
You mean like the industry as a whole?
The industry the industry as a whole. And so I just see these things, and there's a lot of stuff going on. That's a lot of negativity out there, and I don't like it seeing that for our industry. I love so many people in the industry. There's great coaches. Debbie Sardone, I think, is the best of the best. Okay. Liz Trotter is great. There's others that are out there, but I think Debbie is the best of the best, and I'm very loyal to her. And Debbie was sending business elsewhere, okay? And I'm still loyal to her because I know she's made more millionaires in this industry than anybody else, okay? It's just amazing what she's done for 30-some years in this industry.
Debbie reminds me, and like Debbie's tough, and we know like financially she's really tough. She's super prudent. Debbie reminds me of like in the NFL, they always talk about coaching trees. And if you look at all the people who Debbie has influenced and then like where they're at and like what they've learned, like Molly's on here. And like we met Molly through CBF, through Debbie's program, and Molly's the shit. Right. And like if Debbie didn't exist and we didn't go to Debbie's events and she didn't put them on, we wouldn't know Molly.
Yep.
Right. And it's like Debbie's tree is huge. The number of people she's impacted and helped, and then like, and now like what Molly can go do and who she can help is outstanding.
Yep.
It's freaking crazy. Like, I mean, like it's I don't think we could fathom how big that tree is. Like, it's got to be hundreds of thousands of people when you really think about like down to the family level of who's all impacted.
I mean, Molly's one of the owners of a cleaning convention that is going to be in March. That is for the cleaning industry. I mean, that's just, it just is like you said, these branches that just go and go and go. And, please go to CleanCon. Please go to CleanCon. We'll be there. It's going to be phenomenal. But there's, I want to bring up the loyalty thing. There's, when you've got mentors and when you've got people, and I'm very loyal to Molly Moran too, very loyal. And she's a phenomenal coach. and she's coaching still, and she coaches businesses, and she's phenomenal, and she is the real deal, and she's genuine, and she's not one of these where we hear nowadays about everybody's coaching and everybody's. No, she's the real deal, and I know that, and I don't say that about everybody. There's something when you start a company and you've been blessed with somebody giving you that opportunity and basically helping you and supporting you and handing you business and growing that business for you, there's got to be a sense of loyalty there. I'm loyal to you because you've helped me grow and you've been a partner with this and helped me grow things and do good things. So when I'm on a stage with somebody else that's a vendor, and I'm saying there's two of us at this convention, I think you should use one of us. We're here to help you, and the other one's going around bad mouthing me. Okay, I got a fucking problem with that.
And saying I invented this.
Yes, and we were the first ones.
In 2020,
and he's stealing stuff. I'm telling you what people are telling me that used to be involved with that person. Okay, I got a problem with that. I got a big problem with that.
You should.
I've got a problem with being called the trunk slammer of the recruiting industry.
What does that even mean?
So in the cleaning industry, residential home cleaning industry, you get a thorn in your side because you pay in workers' comp, you pay insurance, you do things the right way, you do payroll, and then there's this lady named Diane that says, "I'll charge you $50 for that $150 cleaning." And
the truck in the truck. Yeah, truck in the truck.
So they're grabbing the vehicle, the vacuum out of the back and slamming the truck. Apparently that's what I'm being. You know what I do on a demo? I get on a demo and I say there's people in our industry and competitors of ours, and this is literally what I will say. And anybody out there that's done a demo with me will back me up 100% on this. I normally say something like this: XYZ is a competitor of ours, and I know them. I've had dinner with them. I've had drinks with them, and I've had hugs with them. Okay. They're good people. Anything I say about them is only to tell you what's different about us. And then I go on to say why we're different. Okay. That's how I approach it. The feedback I'm getting in the last, say, year or so, and in the last 6 months, because I've signed up probably close to 10 CBFers in the last week and a half or two. And I've got demos set up with more. And I'm telling you now, I'm getting feedback like I'm stealing stuff from people, my competitors, and I'm just going, wait a minute, what? And it's just blowing me away because I'm not used to that. And I know who I am. And it's just validated me to hear that from CBFers and people out there. And I actually reached out to Debbie and said, hey, I hope I'm still doing okay for you guys. Yeah. If there's anything I'm doing wrong or something that you don't think I'm loyal to CBF or the maid service industry, I want you to call me out on something because I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. It's frustrating. It doesn't surprise me. It's frustrating to all of us, and it's not the first time it's happened. It's not the last time it'll ever happen just in humanity, which is when somebody's doing something wrong, their natural inclination, if they're a wrongdoer, is to accuse somebody else of doing the wrong, yes. Right? Because how do you prove that wrong, right? Yep. If you're the guilty party and you accuse the other person, like now they're tied up in it, right? And so like let me just do this because I got 3 little kids. Whoever smelt it dealt it, man. That's all I'm saying. Like y'all know how it is. I'm going there. We're doing this thing right now. Whoever smelled it dealt it. And it's just frustrating because, again, like we've been supportive of every other recruiting company besides that initial like 10 minutes of like, damn it, we have competitors.
Right.
Like I remember being like, shit, like there's other people that are going to do this thing. Yep. And like, we had it all to ourselves. Like, I mean, like, and it took us 10 minutes to be like, yeah, what did we think was going to happen? We started helping a bunch of people. There's other people that go, oh, I can do this better.
Yep.
It's natural, right? There's about 1 billion bookkeeping companies, you guys. So like I'm one of them, but mine's the best because it's got a beer mug and logo. It's really cool and it's funny. And Molly likes, we're gonna get some socks made. We'll get some best damn socks made. But it's like there's so many companies out there, and we know this. Well, hell, let me throw this out for an example. And I think I was going through this when we started having competitors. And so I think this like helped us see where this industry is going, which is Andy and I were competitors forever in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
We were competitors. It was 2018, I think. We were trying to buy Andy out of Kahuna Window Cleaning. We were trying to buy one of our competitors. We taught and Andy was struggling with some stuff, like getting the business model right. Andy's the shit. Don't get me wrong. He was learning the business model. We were like maybe a couple years ahead of him and figuring out like commission style pay. And we were doing one person crews with window cleaning. We were kind of breaking some things. And like Dalkey was a ninja with that stuff. Like that's nothing that I came up with. Dalkey was such a ninja with the business model stuff. We taught it to Andy in intentions of buying his business. We taught it to him. And then he used it and became really profitable. And then said, actually, I think I'm going to keep running this business. And I remember like Dalkey was so mad. Like Dalkey's like, I'm never talking to that guy. I mean, like I'll exaggerate, but Dalkey was so pissed about it. And then I was like, no, man, it's fine. Like Andy's a good dude and we're going to need help. And someday we're not going to want to run window cleaning businesses. Like we're going to need Andy. Fast forward to 2020, we merged with Andy. Because we stayed in touch, we built the relationship, right? We grew the pie. I will never forget. And Andy is like the salt of the freaking earth.
For sure.
I will no different than you, Shawn. Like, I will take a bullet for you. I am there. I'm whatever it takes. I will do whatever it takes. Bobby Walker, I will do whatever it takes. I'm as loyal to that guy as anything. I will fly down to Orlando tomorrow if he says he needs me to fly down to Orlando. Andy Mashura, same thing. I am as loyal to that guy as anything. There were times when we'd have like 2 pressure washers go down in a day. This is a real story. I think we had 3. I think we owned 4 and 3 went down in one day. Like pumps went down, but like everything can go wrong. And we bought shitty equipment. We deserved it. Andy was out of town. He said, hey, here's my garage code. I got a hot water trailer. Like he's got a $30,000 freaking trailer. He's sending me the code to his garage to go get his equipment so we can go finish the rest of our day. Like that is our competitor.
Right.
Do what you guys got to do. I got your back. Let's do this thing. Like that's who you want to work with. Yes. You don't want your competitors to be like, oh, they're stealing stuff. Like it sucks when your competitors go make up shit, talk stories, and like accuse you of what they do, right? Because then it's like, he said, she said, whose word is valid. That's frustrating because I knew who Andy was. We didn't buy his business. We merged with his business. He still runs that business. He did $2 million in revenue. When we were talking with him, he was at like 275-ish and we were at like 600 and we like combined, we were like, dude does like over 2 mil now.
Yep.
Like Andy kicks ass.
He does.
That guy is a good
dude, super well deserved.
He deserves to run a big ass business.
I remember when you guys were starting to talk to him because he called me and just wanted to know how things, who are these guys? What's going on? I know you've dealt with them. And I think Dalkey said, we bought Shawn's company and this and that. And from that conversation, I was very honest with him and everything, obviously. And when all that went down, then I got to really know Andy out in Minneapolis when we had the admin business. We're doing an annual business gig, man. Yeah, we did a lot. We had a lot of fun doing a lot of stuff. We were in Phoenix. I think it was in Phoenix, Arizona.
We did Phoenix after ResponsiCon. And then I think the next year I flew you guys into Minneapolis in February.
Yeah,
just had to torture you a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure, Minneapolis. Even back then was like plywood and burned buildings and everything else.
Yeah, that was when we had cops killing sons of guns out on the streets. It wasn't going well. Still not going well over here. It's all right. No. We'll figure it out. We'll figure our shit out. Leave us alone. We're fine.
No shit, man. But so where we're at today, man. I'll tell you what. I'm super happy where we're at today. We're signing a lot of people up and shit like that. But, I don't know what the hell's going to happen in 2 years from now or 3 years from now, but I'm sure on the fucking Dan Platta, bus, and I'm along for the ride. And it's going to be real interesting to see with AI and things like that. And, I caution things with AI too. And I know Debbie's got an AI thing, and she calls it Deb, I think, if I remember right. And so, which is pretty cool. And most of the business leaders that I talk to about AI, there's kind of like two different things going on. It's here to stay. It's a thing. It's definitely doing crazy things, and I use it all the time and stuff like that. But the one thing that you got to be careful of, and I've talked to some really intelligent people about this that are in that game, we're all just kind of throwing our data around a little bit, and be very, very careful about who you're giving your data to, who you're throwing into whose platforms, and who is, where that data is going to go. And do you really, you better know a person really, really well, and they better be freaking loyal, and they better, not stab you in the back when you're dishing out a bunch of your data and things like that. And I made a short video or a comment on that, or a post, and Melody Edwards, who goes to a bunch of conventions with it, she digs AI, and she's like, that's what they talk about at AI conventions is we're kind of having fun with this. We're kind of learning it. And I'm not saying don't use AI. I do, man. And it's beautiful. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't collaborate with people in your industry and outside of your industry. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're going to feed a bunch of your shit to somebody into some platform, you better know whose it is. You better protect your data. There's a reason that these little companies called Google, Apple, Facebook, and Indeed.com protect their data, and they protect it with their life. It's because they know how important it is, and they don't want to be handing that out to just anybody. There's a reason for that. So really be smart about who you're giving your data to, your SOPs to, your employee information to, and all that stuff. I'm just warning you.
Actually, that's funny you say that. There was a conversation we had with somebody in the space, and their plan was to steal Indeed's data.
Yeah.
Right. And like try to take them out. And I was like, I get it. I'm not there was part of me that was like, yeah, screw those guys. Right. They screwed us over. And the other part of me was like, I don't play the game to like, it's the thing that bugs me about politics. It's the same behavior that bugs me about politics is like, I don't really care who I'm for. I care what I'm against. Right. I'm going to show them. I'm going to go get them. I don't like that behavior of like, yeah, maybe I'm going to vote for Trump, or maybe I'm going to vote for Harris, or whoever I'm going to vote for, but I'm doing it because I don't want them to win. Right. I'm voting against somebody more than I'm voting for somebody. And that type of behavior and like having that conversation, like we're going to take down Indeed. I'm like, I've had those feelings before. Don't get me wrong. Like Indeed has screwed us over, but it's just not who we are.
Right.
Like we aren't take people's pieces of the pie. That's way too many P's coming here. We aren't take people's pieces of the pie people.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
We ain't those type of people that take other people's pieces of the pie. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to grow the damn pie. We are pie growers. We are not pie takers. And I don't like taking pie. I like growing pie. I like making a bigger ass pie because there's so many people that need help. And most of it is, and I think we've lived this with recruiting because again, we didn't know what we were doing. Nobody else was doing it that we knew of. We couldn't find anybody else that was doing it. The people that we could find was Don Williams, who had a software, right? Yeah. And so we talked to him. Who's the Hispanic dude down in Texas? Juan had a software, and we talked with him. Jonathan had a software. He ended up buying Dom's software. We talked with him. And so it's like that snag a job. Everybody was doing the software thing. And we're like, yeah, but how do we actually help people? Because they don't even know how to post job ads and like how to filter correctly and like use the things. It felt like everybody was trying to compete with Google and nobody was trying to be the Google ads guy. Right. And we're like, no, we want to help people like actually run the right job ads and like filter people correctly so that when they get people into your system, It's actually the right people.
Yes.
We don't just want to bring we learned not to dump 300 applicants on somebody. We can go get 300 applicants. We learned that it's not good enough.
I tell people all the time, the last thing I want to be is a technology company. I need people in my life. I need to solve problems with human beings, man. I need that. And that's what we are. Our elevator pitch is, and I love it, is that we want to be your full-time recruiting department. Dan Platta and Shawn, they do not have trophies on our freaking shelves for technology wizards of the fucking year. Okay. We just don't have that. We don't. However, we do have a business partner that does probably have a few of those on his shelf, yeah, Michael Gregory. But I don't want to be a software company. We got it all. We got all the technology. We got all the AI, but we're still researching your labor market because I want to know who the people are in your labor market, and I want to know what the hell they're up to. And I want to know what those people are like. And that's where we come up with a job ad because I want to know who they are, man. And so, I want to make sure that everybody out there knows from Platta, I learned about how relationships are so vitally important. There's nothing more important to me in business than loyalty and relationships. And when I screw something up, I want to be the first to go, and I've done this. We screwed something up and I said, I consider you a friend. I've known you for years. I don't blame you for leaving us. I would too. And here's money back or whatever, but we can fix this if you want, or I can go help you find another recruiting company. Either way, I just want you taken care of. Really,
I get the result.
Yeah.
I had this is my bookkeeping dilemma of this. I can hear Crosby screaming for me from out there, like because it's if mom puts him to bed, he wants dad. If I put him in bed, he wants mom. It's one of those things. He's
yeah.
But one of the things that like really chapped my ass when I was leaving my last partnership, like I said, like loyalty is totally a core value of mine. It's a big surprise. The hardest part of leaving wasn't starting over and starting a new business. It was them extorting me.
Yeah.
That's probably too harsh of a word, but like making it so I couldn't hire an employee. Like Skip was willing to do whatever it was to be able to work together. They still tried to sue me for that. But Skip was like, I don't care. We'll figure it out. Like to the point where like in hindsight, Skip would have hired me.
Right.
If I could hire him, he would have hired me. He would have hired me and paid me 70% to be his salesperson and his leader and everything else. Like we just flipped it around, right? He was like, we're going to do this. Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. And like that kind of loyalty is so important to me because we can help so many people, but we can't do it if we can't trust the people around us. And what I realized in my last partnership relationship is like our core values weren't the same.
Right.
And I actually should have known they weren't because you and I had to rewrite them.
Right.
They were so different than what Dalkey had created. And that doesn't make him a bad guy. Just what was core to like how I wanted to run the business wasn't core to how him and the Weber brothers wanted to run the business.
Right.
And at some point, like, it was a disservice for me to keep running it on their behalf because my core values were different. Like in hindsight, what a shitty misalignment. I don't know why I didn't realize it. Like now, because you and I put such a stress on core values, I totally should have realized that. Like I'm not fit to be your CEO and your business partner. Our core values are too different. These things aren't core to me. These are core to me. Right. They're not in alignment with your core values. I got to go do this own thing and like attract my own people. But the 20 people I had working for me were there, like under bookkeeping specifically, were like there because of my set of core values. And then to be like non-compete, can't hire any of them for 2 years. Right. And so it's like, sorry guys, I'm getting like pushed off on a raft here. Enjoy the boat that I built for y'all. I'm gonna go out on this raft and build it while I'm floating out at sea. And I think the worst thing, and I mentioned this earlier, but like when it comes to the loyalty thing, like the 4 or 5 people that just got totally hosed, and it's my fault. I can't. Now, here's my conundrum, and 2 years later, 2.5 years later, I still don't know what the right answer is. Like Blue Sky should have taken care of them. Blue Sky screwed them over, and if I was still like in the trenches, I'd have solved their problems. I knew how to solve it, but I didn't build a team that could solve it. And in hindsight, like that was what I learned is I didn't build a team that could solve that tough of a problem.
Right.
And like they were waiting for me to solve it. But now now I got lawyers pinning me down. I can't start a business. I can't work in this business. I can't do anything. I can like do demos and go to trade shows and talk to people. But it's like I'm not in a position to like solve the team's problems. They need to be able to solve these problems. And I'm out. So I'm like standing on the sidelines watching freaking Rome burn, and I don't have a bucket of water. Right. And so I just remember like watching that happen and being like, well, I at least know how I need to build it different because I clearly didn't build it right. Like that's where I effed up. I didn't build it right. The minute I paddled out on my raft, it started to burn. Yeah. And I'm out on the raft without an oar, like, oh shit. You guys.
Yep. And then you're not allowed to talk, man. You can't. That's so frustrating. You're not allowed to talk on your own behalf.
Yeah, and you're looking over your shoulder because they're anything you put out there, they're watching, right? And so it's like that. I still like those 4 or 5 people. I don't know. I don't know that Blue Skies ever compensated them. Cost them probably on an individual basis, $5 to $10 grand a piece, and like bookkeeping fees that they had to pay somebody else to go fix their stuff.
Sure.
I don't know what to tell them. Like, yeah, I built it shitty, and it's what's really shitty is they didn't take care of it. Right. I don't know. There was one that I tried to help after the fact, but she was just so bitter that it didn't really matter. Yeah. But I think that's a tough thing. That's a tough Band-Aid to rip, but you learn and you get better, and it like makes you that much more resilient about like how, and again, just like when we had the Indeed problems, we have to put our money behind this thing to help these people. That's right. Like, how do we help all these people? Actually, that was probably the hardest thing. If I was sitting on tens of thousands of dollars, I would have just paid it. I would just used my money, right? And done it. But I just got kicked out. Like the thing that had the money was over there. Right. I didn't have any of their money to like give back to them. Right. And I think that was probably the hardest pill to swallow is like, I can't help these employees. I can't help those 4 or 5 customers that just got hosed. I'm starting from zero. Yeah. Like all I can do is give them labor. And like I said, the one person I tried to give labor to, but the other 3 were so pissed. I think they talked her out of like letting me help. I was helping her for free. I never sent her an invoice, never charged her. Right. It was like, I don't know. The only thing I can do is throw some labor at it, but I get why you would blame me. Like I did build that ship and now that ship's on fire and you're stuck on it and I can't do anything for you. But it's like, man, and we all learn, right? I said it earlier. I don't regret it, but I'll never do it again. Yep. Like now I know. I figured it out.
You're right, though. I mean, I've said this a number of times after Indeed. I going through that period of time and being that stressed out. And I've been a small business owner at that time for 28 years or something like that, 25 years at that time. So I've been around the block a few times. I've seen a lot of things through 25 years of being a small business owner. That was probably the toughest thing for me business professionally to go through, man. And I remember, we talk about leadership and stuff like that. I remember like I would bitch about that to my team. And I would bitch to you about, and then it was like a couple weeks go by and I something just hit me and I'm like, holy shit. One of our core values is positive attitude. And my poor employees are listening to me bitch and moan and be negative. And I'm like, I was so embarrassed. It was, and I just literally like felt like I got punched in the gut and nobody's near me. I'm just thinking these things, man. And I had a hard time breathing. I get on, I think we're using Voxer. I'm like, meeting at noon. I don't give a shit where you're at or what you're doing. Be there, And I was like,
all company meeting.
Yeah, red light, red alert. So like at noon, man, I got the team on there and I came out and I said, listen, man, I am so sorry what I've been putting you through. And I've been abusing our number one core value is positive at all times. And here I am putting you guys through this bullshit of whining and complaining. And I'm supposed to be the leader of this company. I said, I will do everything I can to never make that happen again. We're going to get through this. You're not going to hear me bitch about this anymore. I'm focused on the solutions, not the problem anymore. We know the problem. You've got to call me out on this if I ever do this again immediately. Do not let me do this ever again. And to the best of my ability, I don't know that I have, without maybe joking about something, nobody has heard me bitching and moaning and complaining about negative stuff. And I learned a big lesson doing that, man. I had them on a call for 45 minutes apologizing for that.
If you want that, Shawn, I got this 3-year-old that's available anytime you want. If you want to hear some whining, I got a 7-year-old that's still pretty good. Danny's kind of done whining. She's 9. She's kind of exited the whining phase. Reggie's starting to get better, but you can still get some good whining out of her when she doesn't get her way. The 3-year-old, though, he's in prime meltdown phase. If you feel like you need some venting or some whining, I'll just get you on the horn with Cross Dog. If Amber's still on, if he's in a good mood, you might get some Old McDonald. In 20 seconds, he could be in a bad mood. Then you can get the full.
I never knew why they called it Turbo 2s, because mine were like 3-year-old. 2s weren't too bad, but at 3, man, it was like, whoa, who are you? What are you talking about?
And they're big enough that they like fight back a little bit.
Yeah.
Quit trying to kick me in the groin, son.
Yeah.
Come on.
Big time.
I want to hit one thing here quick, because we've been talking a lot about loyalty, and I think if there's anything that Higher Lead Chill is all about, that's it. I don't know that there's a better word to describe it with everything that you and I have been through from 2015. And like, you didn't even know me then, but I was behind the scenes. We probably had some emails back and forth, but I was behind the scenes until like through the Indeed bullshit, starting businesses together, COVID, and having hundreds of 100 plus employees around the country and trying to figure that out with a bunch of recruiting clients and figuring that out, to, hey, we got to exit this business. And, oh, well, those boys don't want your business. So I know exactly what's about to happen, which is we're not going anywhere. And like, I don't know that we could have written a better story about it. Like, it worked out exactly how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to flip it to best damn bookkeeping, because we're speaking about loyalty. Starting over sucks. It just has to. Sucks for everybody, right? It sucked for the team members that we left behind. It sucked for the clients that we left behind. But there's a handful of clients that the minute that they found out, and remember, I couldn't even talk about anything.
Right.
They were reaching out to me like, what's going on? Something's going on. You're not helping people. You're being really weird. Like, what's going on? They weren't accusatory, right? So like 4 or 5 were very accusatory. There were a handful like, I can tell something's up. I can tell you're not talking about something. I'm just like, I don't know how to, because I'm going to get thrown in freaking jail. I don't know how much I'm going to get sued for. But literally, like, multiple manila envelopes showed up at my door with legal bullshit on it. But Teresa McConnell was my first client. I told her, Teresa, like, I was like right on the edge of being out. And I was like, Teresa, I can't really talk about it. But if you do want to work with me in the future, I will have a bookkeeping business in the future. And there's going to be a penalty that you will have to pay to come and work with me. She's like, so what is it? Right. And then I think I told her, and she's like, that's it. All right, let me know. Yep. Let me know when we're doing stuff. She was so relentlessly loyal. She's like, I know what I'm doing here. I know who you are. I'm coming. Darlene.
Yep.
I'm not going to say her middle name because I got it wrong last time when I thought I was being a smart ass. I'll go with Darlene Tyson. But like, same thing. She's like, yeah, cool. What is it? I don't care. I know what we're doing here. I know how to have these, like, it's just like, you can tell where the loyalty is and who's got your back. And man, just, it's everything.
Yep.
It's everything. Yep. And like, Higher Lead Chill is here because of that. Best Damn Bookkeeping is here because of that. And it is that loyalty allows us to keep helping more and more and more and more people. And I don't know how many thousands of people, business owners, families, hopefully it's tens of thousands, hopefully it's hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many people are like left in the rainbow of our businesses and the trajectory of our businesses. But damn, it's so fun. I did a group interview yesterday with a bunch of people that you guys sent my way. And one of my bullet points when I do my reverse interview and I present our business to them is, you have to understand how we change people's lives. You said it earlier, like, when you can help them build the best team they've ever had, when Best Damn Bookkeeping can help them understand their finances and get clarity and make decisions that grow their business. And all of a sudden they start making money and they're like, oh, this is what it's like. And then like this, I'm going to tell Teresa stories again, because Teresa eventually reached out to me. She's like, Dan, what do I do with all this money? Like now that I have a great team and now that I know how to make these decisions and we're doing this stuff together, I have money. Like this keeps building, right? I don't, it's like, I used to have to keep reinvesting it and I'd have enough to live off and I used to have to keep reinvesting it. And now I just keep getting more and more and more. And I just go like, I don't know what to do with it. It just keeps sitting here. And I'm like, yeah,
that's the name of the game.
That's pretty cool. That's how you do it. That's now you have an investment and now it's paying off. And so it's like when you can see cool stuff like that. And Teresa, sorry for making an example of you, but I love what you do and how you do it. And like, you're the shit. And like, you just get to go keep helping people.
Right.
And the best way to help them is to get the best team in the world. Every business owner deserves the best team in the world. They have to earn it. They have to be a good leader. They have to like know how to recruit. You can't just complain that nobody wants to work anymore. You actually have to do the work, figure it out, go recruit good people, but you deserve it, man.
Yep.
Like, go get the best team in the world. Go be the next Teresa. Go build an awesome, badass business that makes you some money. It's actually pretty cool. It's pretty fun when it does that.
Teresa came to us, I think, and had two cleaning technicians, and I think she's well over 15 or around 15 now, something like that. And it just, and honestly, she is so good at asking questions and saying, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And she does. But if there's something that's a hiccup or there's something there, the best client that we have and the most successful clients we have are those that have a relationship with us, not as a vendor client, but as a team member collaborating. You are like our full-time recruiting department, literally having your office next to ours. That's how we want you to feel when you're using our services. We want you to feel like we've got an office right next to yours. You can knock on that door anytime you want. And Nikki, who is certainly Teresa's account manager and so many others in CBF and whatnot, she used to run my company. So she knows she's not a customer service rep. She's not even just an account manager. She operated my business.
She's the general manager.
Manager of the business. Yeah. So, that's the type of stuff we want, though. Those are the people. We begged her to come along. Please don't go anywhere. We want you to be a part of this, recruiting game we're doing.
I mean, we go back to loyalty, right? And like Nikki goes through thick and thin, and I remember like this one stuck out. God, I don't know how long we're gonna keep telling stories for, but I don't have to pee yet, and I got another beer, so we'll see how long.
I do, but I'll hang it out.
All right, there you go. Just put a 5-gallon bucket under your desk. You'll be fine. Put it on mute for a little bit. But I remember there was a time Nikki was a cleaner for us, and then she was kind of a trainer, and then she became the office, like the GM, if you will. And when we had her running the business, we put her in the office because we were like, oh, the general manager's got to be in the office. Right. And like Nikki taught me a lesson that I don't know that there was another way to learn this, but it was so valuable. 6 months into being the general manager of our Cleveland location, she messaged me. I don't remember if she had talked to you first or talked to me first, but she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, oh no, like Nikki's the shit, right? That's like breaks your heart. And I just remember being like you don't want to run the business? Like you don't, is it like, be honest, but like, is it something we're doing?
Yeah.
Is it something about the business? Like, she's like, oh, no. Like, you guys are the shit. And that's what's kept me going as long as it has. But I cannot answer the phones ever again. I don't want to run this business. I don't want to be in the office. I get so anxious. I don't want to be running this business. This sucks. I just got to go find something else. And I was like, well, we just thought you would want to be in the office, like to run the business from the office. Do you just want to be back out in the field? She's like, can I do that? Because I actually have a person that can run the office. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, Billy. I have this friend in Michigan. Right. She can run the office for us remotely. She'd be totally great. And she started, and eventually Billy ran the office. Nikki ran the team and the business from the field. Yep. It's like, oh, that's right. Because like the business, I mean, like Nikki's basically the business owner, right? We're not. Right. She's running it. She is the business owner. And she like taught us that the business owner should choose where they run the business from.
Yep.
They can be the salesperson, they can be the ops manager, they can be the lead technician for all I care. They got to be really good at it. They got to love it. They want to show up, and it's got to be a valuable role, and they got to be able to find people to do all the other jobs. Steve Ranella at Meat Eater, which is like a thing I follow a ton. He created it. He's not the CEO of Meat Eater. He hired somebody else to be his boss because he be the podcast host and the hunting talent, right? And the going on the trips. He doesn't want to CEO a business. He didn't want that.
Yeah.
I remember watching that and being like, why do they have a CEO? Isn't Steve the guy? Well, that's a job, right? Like he didn't want that job. Nikki can run the business and call the shots, but she doesn't need to be in the office.
Yep.
It's like, oh man, there's just so many ways to do business and like carve it up.
Right.
And again, back to loyalty, like when Nikki realized there were things moving on, she's like, well, where am I coming? She was just like, well, save me a spot because here I come. And like, and you haven't said these words specifically on the show tonight, but you've told me a dozen times, like, hey, I'm never going to get another job. So you're stuck with me unless you can my ass or you kill me or something, because I'm not going anywhere, man. Right. And like, it's mutual, right? It's like, yeah, sames. So you're fucking stuck with me, man. Like,
that's it. That's it.
You're stuck with me, dude.
On the bus, man. Take me down the road. I'm on the bus, whatever we got to do. And what the hell else are we going to face between COVID, lawyers, Indeed issues? Bring it on. I don't give a shit. We'll pound that wall down. We'll figure it out, and we'll do good by the clients every single day, man. Every single day. And it'll be a fun trip. I don't know what the hell's going to happen in 2 or 3 years, but I know pretty much I'm not going to be a technology company. I'm still going to be talking to people. I might use a hell of a lot more technology, but I'm still going to be talking to people. I'm still going to be doing Zooms and all that shit and going to conferences because there was somebody posted something today with the AI stuff with the cartoon character thing, and everybody's doing that now and it's gone viral. And somebody posted how shitty that is and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I go back and forth on that. It's like, yeah, the gym stuff, the food, I'm here. And then I'm like, but what a cool thing, because I can't see these people every single day. This is how we communicate now. It's cool to see those things now. And that's how I kind of look at it. There's some days I'm going, okay, narcissism, this, but then when I see you at a convention, I'm going to be able to give you there's times I've gone to conventions, acted like we knew each other for years. I never met you. And I'm at a convention, but because of that stuff on social media, because we follow each other, because we support each other, because we're commenting, and that's just the room we're in now, man. That's the room, that's the office we're all in. And I think it's awesome to be able to go to a convention, never have met somebody and give them a big hug like we've known each other for years, because we're doing these things online, but because we're supporting each other. And a big part of this, wrapping it up, Dan, that I wanted to make fucking clear is that I don't care what your politics are. I don't care who you are, what you look like, tall, small, black, white, whatever else you want to throw in there. I've got business owners that got kids that have transed, that are identifying differently. And I've had beers with them and I hug them and I love them. I don't understand it because I've never been through it, but I still love them. I still support them. I don't care.
I got a wife I don't understand. She had 3 kids, and I'm just like, yeah, you're doing great, gal. You got this.
I don't care. And it's like I'm gonna kind of wrap it up a little bit by just anybody that, if you've lasted this long, or you're gonna boogie through it and fast forward, Platta and I, like you probably do all the time.
Scotty Little just chimed in and said, "You're still on here."
Exactly,
yeah,
man.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Stop the politics stuff. Stop hating each other. Stop, because you're this or that, or you're voting this way, or you're doing this thing, or the ice or not ice, or whatever it is. Stop getting on each other's shit about it, man. Life's way too short for that. If you want to know what you do and what your life is, this is very simple. You are on a planet. It spins around a little bit, about 24 hours, and that's all you do. That's all that your life is. Everything else is the drama you want to bring into it and the bullshit you want to bring into it. And don't do that. Just man, I've got, if doing the right things at the right time with the right people for the right reasons, everything else is God's business, not mine. If I can do those 4 things, man, everything else is God's business. Throw at me what you want, do what you want, take me where you want. But as long as I'm doing that, that's all I care about. And I want to see CBF and residential home cleaners and everybody out there start giving a little bit more love and a little bit more support and a little bit less, I'm going here and the hell with this and you suck and they suck and all that. And it just is, life is way too short. I've got a brother that's been battling cancer for many, many years. I've got a mother that's 89 years old and I try to keep with her and she's my best friend. All right. And I'm telling you now, life's too short for stupid fucking shit like politics and all the nonsense that goes along with it.
Amen. It reminds me, this is my parallel. I've got young kids. They overreact to really small stuff.
Yep.
And we got big stuff going on in the world, but my kids react with zero social awareness, right? And they hit each other and they call each other names and they're childish. And as we get older, we learn not to do that. And somehow on social media, like because we're not physically there, there's a distinct, like, we always acknowledge it, right? If you were in the same room with these people would never talk to each other like this. We have socially learned that like this isn't how we interact. But somehow on social media, that we regress to acting like 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
We react like 5-year-olds. Like the world is black and white. Like it's binary. It's either this or that.
Right.
Like, we all know it's not, right? And if we were in the same room, we would never talk to each other like that. But because there's this barrier of space with internet and there's no accountability, like if you're in front of somebody and you talk to them like that, you're going to get fucking punched in the mouth.
Right.
There's accountability for being a piece of shit. And so like we have learned not to be assholes to each other in person. And like, we get along way better. We actually, like, we really do.
Yeah.
And because it's not about the politics. We actually all want the same shit is the embarrassing thing.
Right.
We actually all want the same shit. We have slightly different views of the best way to get it. And those views get like extremed because people love to push the extremes, right? And people love to create a narrative and say they, and like broadcast everybody else, and they put a word on them and say they believe this, right?
Right.
Like, I hate that shit. It's so like how naive and how stupid. Like we all know better. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like as if there's 2 types of people in the world. Actually, and this is a Steve Renellism. I'm going back to another Steve. There are two types of people in the world. There are the people that say there's 2 types of people in the world, and then there's everybody else. That's the right one. Which is just hilarious, but it's totally true. Like when you act like that, it's so frustrating, and we all get sucked into it, right? My feed gets it. I don't interact with that sort of shit. Every once in a while I do. Maybe my problem is every once in a while I do to make a joke about how stupid they're being.
Right.
And I call out the stupidity of the situation. And maybe that's why Facebook keeps putting it in front of me. But it's like Facebook knows that shit is like antagonizing and they're going to keep putting it in front of you and like ruining your day. You never get off of social media happier.
Yeah.
You never do. Ever. Ever. But thanks for watching. Thanks everybody that's watching on social media right now. We really appreciate you guys. Doing great. Everybody's happier. Everybody's gonna be happy after the show. But it's so funny. It's like we're generally, if you're watching, you're probably a business owner, and if you're a business owner, you just got better shit to do. Like your political views just don't need to be out there. It just doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Just go grow your business. A lot of people need to go help people. That's
I agree. Go golfing, go fishing, go hunting, and do your business and take care of your family, man.
Go ice fishing. We still got some ice fishing to do. Scotty's coming out in a couple weeks.
Is he? Nice.
We're gonna go.
How many guys you got signed up?
We had 9, but we got 2 trucks, so 8 is actually good. But then 2 guys had to bail. Zig had to bail, and Seth Goldberg had to bail because he's got a new office person starting, and so he wanted to like make sure he was around for her. So we're down to 7. 7's actually great because then we can all sit in one fish house and like play board games and like be tighter. Last year we had like 13 and that, or 12. That sucked.
Yeah, I bet.
3 fish houses you can get like 4 guys in the fish house.
Right.
3 fish houses. We couldn't all be in the same spot at the same time.
Right.
And kind of ruins like the moments.
Right.
It was still a lot of fun, except for when Jeremy Jennings stepped in the hole, twisted his knee, and dislocated his shoulder at midnight. When y'all know me. I've been known to drink a few beers, but there's one thing that Kurt Kempton always gives me my favorite compliment, which is like, I've never seen you drunk.
Right.
And like, normally I don't get drunk. I do like to drink, but I hate being drunk. I was drunk. I was stumbling around outside trying to find tip ups. I left like 3 of them out there. I couldn't find the shits. It started snowing. They were buried in snow. It's not, drunk Dan in the dark with a headlamp on. And then Jeremy fell in the friggin' ice hole and is laying on the floor. It looks like a chalk outline, but with a human inside. I'm not joking. His knee was going this way. His shoulder's going like, his shoulder was
That's nasty, man.
His shoulder was down in his armpit, like hanging off to the side. And I'm like, you gonna be all right, dog? Zig was maybe a little overserved as well. And he's like, I'm a paramedic, I'm a firefighter. And then Trevor comes in and is like, nobody's touching him. And when we did get some paramedics to come out and reset his shoulder.
Nobody's touching him.
Yeah, like he was still going through rehab like 6 months later.
Oh, shit. Hey, J-Dog, you all right, bud?
Yeah. Hey, you all right, man? Yeah, and Andy Mashura was out there with me, and he's like, hey, Dan, like, we're trying to get the paramedics out here. It's pretty bad. And I'm like laying in bed, and I was like, Andy, are there any adults that are still awake that are like in position to help? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm good. And I was like, okay, because I'm not.
Right.
Like, I'm not like drank too much, gonna throw up type of drunk.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not useful. I'm not gonna I'm not driving anybody. Like I was sober enough to know I ain't driving anywhere.
Right.
I ain't trying to touch anything. Everybody's better off if I'm laying down
right now. You'll do more harm than good if you go out and try to do shit.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. and I've been drinking tequila sunrises since 11 a.m. That's 14 hours of cocktails. I should probably just call it a night here. Anyway, how the hell did we get on that story?
I don't know, man, but I remember staying up late with you at one CBF, man, and we were talking a little bit about politics with
Vlad.
I
forget. Gosh, I forget that guy's name. I see him every year. It's hard to know. Like, I think he's Russian. Right. It's hard to like keep in mind that like Vlad. I got you, Vlad. The other guy's name is just too intricate for me to put in the register.
I think we're up till like 4:00 in the morning or something crazy. And then I promised the manager, don't kick us out because we want to stay here. I'll clean up everything. And she's like, because we're bringing our own cases of beer in at that point. And
we had some McUltras. We had some McUltras.
Yeah. So I think we had about, 4 or 5 garbage bag fulls of empties.
We did. We cleaned that shit up, right?
We cleaned it up, man. We're a cleaning company. We'll clean it up.
Yeah, it's a cleaning convention. Don't worry about it.
Shit, man. What else you got for us? Anything? I think we covered just about everything I wanted to cover.
I was going to ask you the same. Teresa did chime in, and Teresa, I love you for this. She goes, I went to the gym today. Just wanted y'all to know my knee hurts. I've been lifting. You're next time you see me, you're gonna be like, damn, Platta. Nice. I've been lifting every morning, not every morning, but like I'll say 4 mornings a week.
Yeah.
And nothing like super, super intense, but like cranking out some bench, cranking out some biceps, doing, I do so much cardio and running and like jumping around stuff. Like y'all know, ain't no problem with my legs. Maybe I need some like transplants to get
I know that for sure, man.
Like probably some calf outplants. There's implants. I need some outplants of the thighs and the calves and the butt.
You need like a breast reduction for your calves.
Yeah, like my entire lower body. That sounds bad. I'm just
hold the door on that for a minute, will you?
The real my entire lower body, except for one part. Never mind. You already helped. But I just like I do so much cardio stuff.
Yeah.
Like running and I do like beach body jump around workouts to just get my heart rate up. But I haven't lifted like seriously lifted since like just after college. So I started lifting again, but it is like you have to be careful. My left elbow is just hurting like a son of a bitch. And I've been kind of like lifting and trying to lift differently, but I have learned one thing as I've gotten older, which is like when you're in high school, getting hurt is a nuisance, but it's not terrible.
Right.
You can bounce back pretty quick and nobody's dependent on you.
Right.
When you have 3 little kids, getting hurt really sucks.
Yep.
Like being injured is worse when you have little kids.
Because you're their playground for starters. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I am a jungle gym. I am a jungle gym for the 3 of those kids.
Yeah.
I don't know where they got that type of energy from, but yeah, they're a little intense, as you could tell from Crosby butting in 20 different times and just yelling in the background.
Knee to the groin, and then let's go.
Yeah, always all about it. No, to wrap up though, I mean, we talked so much about loyalty and just like, I think the moral of the story for us is we're still fucking here.
Yep.
Right. Like higher lead chill still exists. We've been through the ringer. It still can't tell. Don't know. We may have invented the damn industry of like recruiting, like and like marketing existed in this way before we started doing it. And again, we didn't realize what we were doing was just like what a marketing company does, just on the recruiting side and following up with candidates and like building a list and retargeting. Like now it makes sense. Like, duh, we should have been doing that all along, but it just didn't exist on the recruiting side. And just through like thick and thin, man, and just grit. What we've talked about core values and loyalties, obviously one of them. One of in best damn bookkeeping, because it's got to be an acronym, you know that. But like best is my acronym. So we got blessed, efficient, steadfast, and trustworthy. And the trustworthy is really about loyalty, and the steadfast is like, I don't care how shitty it gets, we're going. We're figuring it out.
Man, persevere.
Like you just have to. And if you're gonna work for me, I mean, you know, that's like if you're gonna work for me, there's just no quits. We ain't quitting. We ain't done. There's too many people that need help, and we have solutions. We're not stopping it. If we have to spend $25,000, we're spending $25,000. Like we got to do it. We got to do whatever it takes. They trusted us to the T, trustworthy. They trusted us to get them a result, and we can blame Indeed all we want. And you talked about the attitude. The B for blessed, which is the beer mug here, is all about attitude. Just it had to be an acronym, and I didn't know what else to do with the B. It had to be like an attitude thing. It's blessed.
Right.
That is the most important thing, is the attitude. And we just got to stay dialed and stay positive and keep fighting. And we'll get it.
Yep. Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, Dan. And my man, I appreciate all the things we've been through, and I appreciate all the help you've given me, and I appreciate you being there in some of the worst times of my life, actually, or a part of it anyway.
And the best ones.
And definitely the best ones. And definitely, yes, I think I drank enough vodka to kill half of Russia hanging out with you.
I'm a certain kind of influence.
It didn't really matter if it was you or anybody else, really, you know.
The funny thing is you haven't drank in like 3-4 years, and you still have consumed more vodka than the entire country of Russia in the time we've known each other. So that might be. And here's to many more to come. And everybody out there, if you need any help, Best Damn Bookkeeping, Higher Lead Chill, man, we're here for you. And I can tell you, if we're not the best, we are definitely going to work harder than anybody else. And we're going to have your back every freaking day of the week, no matter what. And nobody is going to say that they are more loyal than Dan and Shawn. I guarantee you that. Got that straight.
All right. Have a good night. We're out.